Logan was playing the Indians. Shoaib, how did you feel the battles went? Because I thought that you guys should have been able to like way before I ever showed up. You guys should have had like a good advantage.
Yeah, I mean, early on, yeah, I think before you showed up, it was pretty good.
But what I'm saying is pretty good. What I'm saying is it should not be even. When I'm not around, it shouldn't be even, right? Like, why
Yeah.
was it even? Like that's the shitty part. Like it should have never been even at that point. Like you guys, given the what you had, easily. I mean, I don't even see like basically you guys have everything that counters whatever we have, to be honest. Literally, you guys have better civs. And it had the units there, so unless like you didn't have like the layer set up properly, or they were just kind of like dying, or I don't know what, but because I wasn't there the whole time. I mean, I came in the last 10 minutes of the game.
Yeah, you're gonna have to look at the replay for them because I don't think anybody on our side has the wherewithal to tell you what didn't go so well.
I guess like so let me ask something. Logan, what did you see from your side? Real quick.
I don't really know.
You don't know?
Well, one thing's for sure is, like, the thing is, in a way, like, this goes to the first game of the micro, is that, I mean, yes, like, Sharky went Paladins, but you can still do stuff. And I feel like Sharky was really minimalized. Yes, the counters are there. However, that's when, if you lead their army away, that's when we go in. And I think when the Paladins kind of were just sitting back and, like, kind of avoiding them, it wasn't impactful. So it's like we need to either have a charge there, like make them go into the pikes. Not like, I don't mean to attack the pikes. What I'm saying is draw the pikes away, then we go with our army, and then remove the paladins. Kind of micro with them. Instead, it's kind of like when he sees pikes, he just immediately just, oh, I'm not going to do anything. And then, not to put Sharky down, the other thing is, I mean, when that happens, he needs another unit. In my opinion, like, you can't just have just paladins. When we make a player just do one unit, and the pikes or whatever just neutralizes, there has got to be another unit. But Sharky, I mean, what, you guys expect him to have like 2 units to command though? I mean, like, is that realistic? Because to me, it's like we totally neutralize a player when you guys make pikes. Because I mean, the micro's just not there. I mean, it's tough. It's not easy. So
Yeah, I guess I can talk a little bit about at least the initial strategy we had home, right? So with the civ picks and stuff.
Yeah.
So the idea was that I was gonna go more infantry and obviously like onagers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I was, because I know Sharky was gonna have a hard time like going in to take onagers out and stuff. So
Right.
I called out, basically I was saying eagles will take out onagers because eagles also have pierce armor too, right, against
That's
any
right.
potential archers.
Facile was
Aztecs.
Aztecs, right?
Right, so
Okay.
the what I called out initially was that eagles would be basically primarily taking out onagers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And of course, if they can, get to traps, they can take out traps too. And then Sharky was saying that his pallies should mostly be taking out, other kind of siege like trebs and
Right.
of course
Right.
archers and stuff. And also, if there's any other cav, that they may send because his pallies are also better than the other
Okay.
cav
Okay.
out there, right?
Okay.
So that was the initial strategy when the game started, and then of course, I think Logan had the Imperial camels, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Ellie and the Ellies.
Right.
So I know Logan was saying Sharky should have built something else too. I think that's where also their struggle was that I think Sharky was, of course, didn't have much space to build in our area as much, so we had to
Mm.
clear some place out, some space out from to build stable. It's not like he had another set of buildings and he wasn't producing from those, right? So that
Okay.
was the other issue there too. Um, yeah, so I mean, I think Civ picks were better this time around, right?
I think so. I think so.
I think the strategy, because again, I was saying like because I know Munsiv is playing Siege, right? And obviously
Yeah.
I have same, it's not like I'm not a good Siege player either.
All right.
So I was saying, and I've seen Munsiv and other people play Siege before, so I was saying that basically, ideally we would take out his onagers before they would make it to the front line, right?
Right.
Basically, have 2 keys of eagles, go in the back line and take his onagers out because I
True.
know they're
Right.
usually clumped up and they're not protected until they get to the front line, right?
Right. Right.
To buy us time to then push forward, right? So I think
Correct.
that was one issue, and then obviously I called up towards the mid end of the game where I was, telling Logan, don't send your LEs by yourself. Like, my onagers need to be behind your LEs at all times, right?
Hmm.
So that, and again, the cab rushes are good from your guys' side. They're putting good pressure on my onagers as well, right? Like even
Right.
Dobo when he was there, and then Saman did a few as well, and then of course towards the end you came too, right, for that.
Hmm.
But that was at least a thought process, right? I don't know exactly where it broke down, but that was a thought process behind it.
Yeah, the onagers were not properly protected. So basically, for you to win that, you needed to protect the onagers, honestly. And the onagers were kind of like on the side and not really in the main part of the army. So, I mean, again, it's like a double-edged sword, right? Like if they're in the main part of the army, they
Mm-hmm.
can't move. If they can't move, they could get pancaked, correct?
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, you actually didn't have to worry about that because you were basically pushing at the time, if
Mm-hmm.
you remember, you know? So what I'm saying is because of the way you guys were pushing and they were not properly layered. Like I know you're saying that, but I guess what I'm saying is like, I mean, it's not that hard for you to move in because the more you moving in, say for example, it's one thing like Logan has to move to you, but what I'm saying is as a siege player, literally you could move in. And the advantages for you are greater than Logan moving in, for example. In other words, like say Logan didn't listen to you, it wouldn't matter because your onagers, like you said, would have to be behind his army anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the other thing, what's happening. Your army, as it's moving diagonally in, is automatically getting more protection by all the other units that were there. Vassal was there. You know what I'm saying? Like you would already get more protection, but the thing is, you were coming from your right side.
Mm-hmm.
So because you were coming from your right side, you basically like your flank wasn't protected. So the more so if you think of a circle, the more you go in, the better the protection. The more you're on the edge, the harder the protection. Like there's no way like Logan could then even help you with his Ellie's because they were on the other side. You see what I'm saying? So it's a little bit of like because basically your whole thing was keeping your onager alive. And by the way, the stuff was on our side. Whoever kept his onager alive would kind of have the advantage, and that's really what it was. I mean, other than that, the Civ choices were fine actually. Actually, I like that. Faisal, did you ever get a chance to build a lot of eagles or
He built a
not
lot of
really?
eagles.
Okay, good,
He also built Jaguar
good.
Warriors.
Uh, that's fine. I mean, it's not like the biggest deal. I mean, the Jaguar Warriors are okay, but because Munsif had because Munsif had his own infantry line, so it's fine. I think like the Eagles sort of like with the Cav, but if the coordination wasn't there and if they were coming one after the other, then that could be a little bit of an issue.
So what I saw out of that was Sharky's Paladins would go into our lines and Fassel's Eagles ended up having to screen Shoaib's onagers to protect them.
Hmm.
That's
Okay,
what ended up happening.
so that's kind of like the problem. So there you go, Shoaib. So that was a problem. So ultimately, you did not have proper protection for the onagers. And Fassel, instead of being offensive, ended up using his eagles the wrong way. Like, Fassel's eagles should not be screening for your stupid onagers, to be honest. Like, I mean, he can't. He should be going in. So basically, who was infantry? Who was supposed to be like
It was
mostly
me.
shit? So that's on you.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to have halves around my onagers as well.
Uh-huh. Okay. But did you manage your combo? Because I know Munsif didn't get his combo right, by the way.
Yeah,
He ended up doing more. So in the first, he ended up doing more infantry than onagers, and when we flipped it, he ended up doing more onagers than infantry. So it
Well,
was
I
kind of
think
like a
yeah,
little
because
lopsided.
I had mostly halves, and then I had a few skirms in there, right, as well.
Right,
And
right,
then I
right.
had and then I had onagers.
Yeah, I like from your side, didn't really need skirms.
Yeah, I didn't do that. Maybe I did like I think out of like the ratio wise, I did maybe 4-1, like 4 halves, 1 skirm.
You wouldn't need any skirms. What were you using the skirms against? That's what I want to know.
I think you think against the cav archers that were rushing in a bit from Saman.
Yeah, but that's why you got those mobile units, man. That's why you got Eagle Warriors or you got like Cav. I mean, all I'm saying is if you have like Eagles and you have Cavs,
Mhm.
not all of them are going to be taking out Siege and everything. Like I guess what I'm saying is if Sharky and Fassel are both going for onagers, well then yeah, you're asking to be kind of screwed. But here's my other point: the onagers themselves, because you had good onagers, they can handle the Cav archers as long as you don't let your pikes die. I mean, what is the Cav archer going to do in front of an onager? You know?
Yeah, man, I got pancakes on
Say,
them too.
say that again.
I said I did get a couple of pancakes.
There
On
you
them
go.
too.
There you go.
They're
So
not
so
that
that
robust.
they're not like literally you pancake them. So you don't have to worry about them. So all I'm saying is that you need to kind of like here's the thing. If you go siege, you need to create your own protection. Honestly, I mean other people can help, but the protection of the siege is on you really.
Yeah, but you know what? The Conics neutralized him.
No. That Leah, we're getting. We won't get to the conics yet. What I'm saying is, first you deal with your protection. Then that means the eagles are somewhere else, and it also means that the pallies are somewhere else. Which means that the conics are not just gonna go there directly. And if they can't, and if they do, that's when you get the Indian guys. That's where the Indians come in.
It came down to micro. Who was the better player with the micro? And basically, Salon orchestrated the elimination of the defense from the siege. You know, it's a catch
I'm,
22. You pick your poison.
I'm saying that if even if you don't have good micro, it's the positioning. So forget about the I did this and you did this and I moved it forward and I moved it backwards. Forget that. I'm saying it's the positioning of the army. Literally, if the Indian elephants are there, the conics are dead. Conics ain't do shit. It's GG. It's over. No one can do anything. I mean, all I'm saying is you take the Indian Ellies and you plop them in the middle. No, and by the way, no micro. Sit them there. Nothing to do. What'll happen to the conics over time? They die, they become swordsmen, and they get wrecked. GG. So, you don't need micro. So what I'm saying is your positioning. Forget about the micro. It's the positioning that was off. That's it. Other than that, and not only positioning, but the guy that was supposed to protect his stuff actually built some skirmishers, and that was kind of like an issue. Basically, you don't need skirmishers at all. Like I wouldn't really go into the skirm when in a gold fight like that. Like I wouldn't really do that. There's a place for it, but like very, you know, man, I wouldn't really do the skirms like in most cases because you have onagers, man. Like like you're good. Like you wouldn't have to worry about it.
All right.
Okay. Let me. Where's I'm sending this the map. No, it's not a new one. It's one we played before. I don't know if you guys want to play that, but it's this one.
Are you sending it on WhatsApp?
I mean, it's Sharky sent it. No. If you go into the AOE maps,
Yeah.
you see this? You see the Sharky,
Come on.
Sharky. I don't know the name because Sharky did not. I mean, Salman puts the name, but Sharky just forwarded, like put it there. His is the only one. You see that? I
Oh, Sharky. Okay, the one they said that. Okay, I see it. Hold on.
That's the map that we'll play.
This is where we all start together, I think, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
correct.
Do you play this one before? You're saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, we
well, I
did.
think I think we played this one without. Yeah, I think Logan was in there
No, he
that
wasn't.
day. It was me, Saman, and Sharky. I think.
That's
Right?
right. That's right. It was actually 3v3. Dobo wasn't there either.
Yeah, against Fassel, you and Munsif. Can't
That's
remember
right.
now.
So it's not like you don't know this one.
Yeah, this one's not bad. That's interesting.
Okay. So let's start that. Now, by the way, Shoaib, how did you feel about the? You still felt that, in that early to mid game, me not being there gives you a decent amount of advantage.
Yeah, it does.
Okay. So you want to continue with that, or you want to switch, or what do you want to do?
I guess we can ask the rest. What do you guys think, Fast Logan? You wanna?
Damn, Shoaib just he threw it to the rest of the folks.
Oh, I don't want to freaking get get chewed out after the next game, man.
What?
No, Fastel's been saying the balance is off, so I mean, if he has any suggestions, I don't mind.
Just so everybody knows, the reason Munsif came in is because I don't have to come in the late, early, mid game. So by me not showing up necessarily as much in the early mid game, it basically Salman has somewhat because Salman and Faisal are like the strongest, right? When they're doing. So the next best really, frankly, is really Munsif that provides the buffer to Salman, basically. So by doing that, all what we have done is we've kind of like delayed when I actually arrive for the most part. As opposed to where in the previous times you would actually see my presence probably because I'm just letting you know so everybody understands. Salman has a stronger very very early, and then he has to have a targeted retreat, and while he's retreating, because you guys come up like it's like 3v1 or something, because Sharky and Dobo cannot support him, I basically have been targetedly filling the support till they show up. Okay. So what I'm saying is that in order to delay me further kind of joining, we brought Munsif on this side and then said, okay, because I don't think we want to break up. I don't think we want to break up the Fassel, Shoaib and Logan combo because your communication is great. Like it's great. So it's really about like the fourth player, and it's really a matter of like, okay, do you want to do a Dobo versus Sharky? And I guess the question is that if you guys got enough of a buffer in the first early mid game, generally Sharky's mid to late game is pretty darn good on point. So as opposed to Dobo, who's very sparse at that time. And that's the reasoning that went in. So I guess if that's the cadence that everyone feels okay with, because that's how the last game, couple of games have gone. So I guess the first game's all garbage, kind of. So it's really this last game we played. So it's really up to you guys if as a collective, did you guys feel that that was the type of cadence you would like?
Well, you're saying the question is either we keep Sharky or we get Dobo. Is that what you're
Well,
saying?
what it means is that, for example, if you're not comfortable with that and you want me to take Sharky, we can take Sharky. You see what I'm saying? And you can take Munsif, for example. But what I'm saying is my involvement is much earlier. So one of the things we were trying to do is not have my involvement as early. So that's
Yeah,
why in
no,
the last couple of games you haven't seen me.
That's fine. Munsif can stay. We could try a flip between Sharky and Dobo.
Okay, so flip. So Sharky's on our side and Dobo is on the other side. And switch and let's go, guys. Let's go.
Are we
Everybody seen the map, right? Everybody see the
doing
map?
I
the
I
regions
resent it
or
in the maps.
Okay, please make sure Dobo can see it too.
we doing the regions or what?
Doesn't look like it. It's kind of tough. People struggling big time, even with their regular civs.
Yeah.
Sucks right now.
I can pick only one region anyways.
The Nig region.
Yeah.
The thing is, I'm not so sure Sharky would want to be in the Nig region.
Oh, well, sorry,
He,
there's no Franks there.
Sharky is like super Euro. Ain't that right, Sharky? You're
Yeah,
all about the Euro.
I have to be in the Brits region. Yeah.
Um, Okay, so I guess
How should we spread it here? Color-wise. 2, 3. So yellow gonna be extremely left. Green.
probably it'll
Wanna keep
probably
the
maybe
same thing
similar,
for
right?
me? Yeah, wanna keep the same thing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I guess y'all bring mid and
Hmm. So you
we're
can
getting the
switch with
flanks.
the. I'm gonna go 2 number 2 again. Sharky, you can go green.
Sharky had good production, so pretty much similar. You're gonna need to like make sure that your production's up and whatever you're playing, your production is like on point, and you have the necessary buildings in the right amounts, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's gonna be very key for you. So
I'm like in the middle. Should I go? Let's see. Either I can go infantry or cav.
by the way, on this one, because we don't have Dobo, Munsif, you should go green,
Okay.
and then Sharky, you red. Just in case that Salman gets maybe more pressure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he does. I was thinking about it. I'm gonna try to hold the center of the map.
Yeah,
And now I start to remember this map. There is a wars between the every
yes.
patch. Yeah, well, I think I'm gonna hold the center, and then I'll start building between me and you, Salman. And then I will try to spread to your side. Most probably, all the rush gonna be from your side, not from the mid.
I mean, that's what's been happening the past couple maps.
Yeah. Okay. So you said Sharky, you wanna be save? Which save you wanna be? Like you said,
Yeah,
infantry or
probably infantry. I'm thinking Inca for Meso.
Well, Salman will talk about that.
Well, first off,
Well, hold on.
go back to random. You don't pick first,
Yeah,
Sharky.
you don't pick first. Go random. And he has to like you have to get Salman to talk to you about that first before
Alright.
you can pick.
Yeah. So you wanted to go infantry, you said?
Yep.
Personally, I would prefer Aztecs if you wanted to go Mezzo for infantry.
And as far as the balance, would it be Eagles and let's see. Oh, they only have pikemen. Is that all right? If
Yeah,
yeah, I mean you
their
have
pikemen are better in a normal fight than not as good as the halberdier versus cavalry, but versus halberdier, they're good, man.
what's the reason you want to switch between the Aztecs and the others?
I'm saying if he wants to play Mesoamerica, right? And he wants to go infantry, I would prefer him to go Aztecs over Incas, because they're more of an infantry civ than the Incas are. The Incas are more of a
I thought
counterplay
it's the
civ.
opposite. Okay.
No, the Incas are more of a counterplay civ. Think about it this way. So they have the slingers. What are the slingers good for? Well, they're good for countering infantry. They're basically gunpowder dudes. They have the Kamyuk, which is a better halberdier, so that they counter cavalry that way. They have the Eagles with the extra pierce armor, so they can take archer fire better, so they can take archers. You see what I'm saying? They're counter civ. They counter what somebody else does, which makes it a little bit more tricky to play. Versus Aztecs, it's like, okay, my units just deal more damage. Simple, right? I'm gonna take that as a no. That's not simple.
No, I thought of that. I was trying to differentiate between the two, between the Aztecs and Incas. I thought you were referring to the Aztecs, but you were talking about the Incas.
I was talking about, yeah.
Yeah, because for me, when I see the infantry, I try to see if they have the full tree for infantry, like meaning the good. They have halberdiers, good skirmishers, and champs.
You
But
know, Aztecs will beat them
that's
in a straight up fight, right?
well, that's the thing that I'm trying to understand. What differentiate between the two? But when I
Okay,
see it,
so
I'm trying to see.
if you look at the Incas real quick, they go to full halberdier, right? So they have the standard halberdier line.
Correct.
Now, if you go to Aztecs,
They don't.
they go to pikemen, right? But if you
Correct.
look in the unique tech, they have this unique tech called Garland Wars, +4 infantry attack. So that you add +4 attack to their pikemen, and then the halberdier only gets +1. So they have a +3 attack. You see what I'm saying?
I see. Now.
So their pikemen are actually doing more damage. That's why they do not have halberdier, by the way, because then it'd be just too strong.
Yeah.
It's the same as
Yeah,
the Vikings.
+4. It's like having halberdiers +4, which is yeah.
So that
Which is like
it's
a
plus
halberdier
it's
and a half.
+3 over to standard halberdier. So when they're fighting a halberdier, they're actually doing better.
Better
than
than
a medieval.
halberdiers, actually, yes.
Yeah,
It's like
that's
4
what I'm
plus
saying.
4 is 8.
Aztec would be
Yeah.
better for
Yeah.
straight up infantry.
It would be nice if they update those numbers in the tree based on the unique tag of everyone.
No, they're just gonna show you the generic thing and then have
Yeah,
it listed on the side.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's nice if they add that in the calculation.
They're
That's
not
fine.
going to because you have to get the upgrades. You see what I'm saying? So they're just gonna show you the base stats.
I see. Slav this time. Let's see. Yeah, what? Alright, let's see what they pick first, and then we can decide.
Yeah, but we'll see what they pick.
Or whose turn?
Their turn.
Double went Goths.
Oh, and Faz will pick Aztec. Huh.
Okay, so we're
It would be nice now potentially the slingers are
What?
not bad.
Why they pick
they actually
Oh.
the Incas wouldn't be bad in this situation because you can go slingers. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna counter them. But why they picked both at the same time?
I guess they wanted to get the bonus.
Yeah.
It's all good. No, it doesn't matter. It's
Sure.
like okay,
Okay.
no big deal.
How would the slings do against the Huskar armor?
+10, just like a gunpowder.
Uh-huh.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Incas are a counter pick. You see what I'm saying? They're counter saves. If they can't counter, then they're dead. They're done.
Why should I be here? I'm thinking to be Ethiopians.
Shit.
So,
Talk talk about your damn role, bruh. Don't talk about like I'm gonna be a nig.
Why that? I didn't
That's
say
not
that,
the
but
problem.
That
that
you said
that's the
that
thought
without saying
process you
it.
had in your mind, but I didn't say that.
All I
The,
heard
the
was
reason why I
this
put
is what I
them,
heard. This is what I heard. I'm a nig. I'll be a
no,
nig.
I didn't say that. That's why you heard, but I didn't say it. I don't know why you said that. Because I know they are siege players. I mean, siege civilization, but I'm trying to be the more between cavalry and siege.
I would not go Ethiopians for cavalry.
Mhm.
Not at all.
If you want to fit the theme, you can go Malians for cavalry.
No, but I
But
need
then
siege. Malians, they
you're
don't have
losing out on the
siege.
siege.
Well, try to find a sieve that has both cavalry and siege.
So
I don't want to go Indians, but
if you want cav and siege, Bulgarians is an option. Slavs is an
Indians
option.
do not have good siege.
What's that?
I thought Indians have good siege, but they don't.
Yeah, not really. The Spanish is okay. I wouldn't really recommend it, right? Yeah, they only have honor here. Humans is a pretty solid
I was looking for
cap
them.
save,
Yeah.
and they do have solid siege as well.
Siege, yeah, I think I'm gonna go Cumans.
Okay. By the way, the Incas give us the best team bonus ever, guys. Just FYI, best team bonus ever.
Oh yeah, saw that.
Can't get a better one. Best one there is.
100%. Yeah. That means less farmers and more army units.
No. It just builds faster, Munsif.
Oh, build faster? I thought they make farm faster. Okay.
No, it just builds faster.
Okay, that's fine. I thought they farm faster. It's fine. What time
No,
is it?
man. The ones that do that are the Slavs.
The Slavs get the extra food. And then the two.
I thought it
the
would no.
cheaper
I thought
farmers.
it was Chinese get the extra food for their team bonus,
Oh
but
yeah,
the
yeah.
Slavs actually
Slavs
get the
actually
food faster.
Yeah, Slavs actually. Hey, right. Chinese get the food on the farms, and the Slavs actually, get it faster. Yeah.
And
10%
and the Khmer don't need to drop off
Hmm.
like in a particular location. They could drop off anywhere.
What do you mean drop off?
So they don't have to go to a mill or a town center. They just farm.
So where? Oh, they don't. So they just keep farming all the time.
Yeah.
They don't even move.
Nope. They just stay on the
Oh,
farm.
this is even better. Nice. I rather choose this than the 10% faster.
Yeah, they added that in DE.
Yeah, farmers don't require mills. Shoot.
Mm.
Nice.
Munsif is like, damn man.
Yeah, next time. I'm a
Shit.
food person, so I need, I need I need to find a save that produce food faster and more efficiently. Nice.
You would probably go with the Slavs, to be honest.
That's good to know. Khmer, Slavs, and the Chinese.
Yeah, man. If you want that wood, though, go Celts. They chop wood faster.
Yeah, I played them earlier. Yeah, they do. The siege it's made faster too. So. All right, how long's gonna take them?
They're discussing your picks. And they're like, why is Munsif going Cumans? This doesn't make sense. Just FYI, Sharky, the Slingers, while they should be. Look at Huskars real quick. They should be good against the Huskars. They're not
Against
going to be
Spanish.
as good as hand cannon. Just letting you know
Okay,
right
yep.
off the bat. Because you'll probably be doing around. Yeah, see, this have 8 pierce armor. So a hand cannon would be doing 27 damage, so 19 per hit. You're going to be doing around 14.
Delete the object on the
So
flared
around
location.
6 per hit. 6-7 damage per hit versus 14. So I mean, it definitely will work, right? But it's not going to be quite as effective as a hand cannon. But I think it attacks faster, so should still be alright.
As far as like the halberdier balance, like between like halberds and eagles.
I mean, right now they only have the Spanish for whatchamacallit, cavalry. So you might have to do a little bit more on the champions.
Why it says enemy 7 for showback?
Yeah, I don't know why.
I think.
He's gray. I guess he picked gray.
Yeah, but why it says enemy and next to his name?
I don't know where
In the
that
chat.
is.
I am thinking about going
Because he is
Khmer.
the enemy.
What
Team
do you guys
2.
think? How about me going Khmer?
Did you like the farmers?
No, I'm actually a little bit more after
I'm
the
just joking.
Scorpions because the
Yeah.
Goth spam and the Spanish.
Oh yeah.
So I can help Sharky out too.
Oh, we got onagers with what's his name?
Yeah, we do
I
have
do.
onagers with the Munz.
I mean, that's what you guys agree upon.
Yeah, mostly for me siege and cavalry. So for sure I would have some food units around my siege, but mostly.
Because that'll mean that because that'll mean that they'll then you know what'll happen when you pick Khmer.
Indians?
Yeah, or even Saracens.
Yeah. Let's go Mongols.
Yeah, I mean that's possible too. Who's going Cav?
Munsif.
Oh, but he's cumin, so
Yeah.
he's going Cav and siege. Who's
Yeah.
going siege?
So Munsif has Siege Onager and Siege Rams.
Okay, so that means support's open, like the archer stuff is open. Oh, but
Yeah.
you're going.
That's
or
why I
I
was
guess you're-
thinking either Khmer or
Oh,
Mongols. Yeah, I'm thinking. I'm leaning more
Okay.
towards Mongols.
Your call.
I'll go with the Mongols. The Mongols. We get the blind side though, but if they won't think you'll be making any siege, bro. Yeah, but Sharky, you're probably gonna have to switch a little bit more into champions than usual. And then keep it like a force like 10, 15 eagles on the side to like hit any siege Berbers.
Huh.
Yeah, he wants those camel archers. Okay. Yeah.
Why did
What?
he give up? It changed.
What?
Move them. That's what is this? That's not fair.
I think Hodom went over. Yeah, he did. He's telling him how much of a shitty choice that was. Okay, so the main things we're gonna have to worry about, from what I'm looking at, is Sharky. You gotta keep your infantry alive. This is gonna be kind of critical. I'm assuming Doba's gonna go pretty heavy on the Halbs, maybe some Husklars, maybe a lot of Husklars. Vassal can actually wreck you with Jaguar Warriors, so that's something to keep an eye out on.
Yep.
So you're definitely going to need some kind of backline support, whether that be Kipchaks, Scorpions, or Mugadai. Me and Munsif, one of us has to be with you, okay? With some kind of archer support. That's just how it's gonna be, because you are outmatched in that infantry engagement. Some slingers will go some way to alleviate that, but the spam and the superiority of their units is just it's gonna be tough for you to handle by yourself, because the spam's just gonna be real. I'm telling you right now, spam's gonna be real. You're gonna need a really robust economy to deal with that spam.
Got it.
Munsif, build a couple Kipchaks and leave him with the Sharky's infantry as well. He's gonna need them. And so he's gonna need everything archer-wise we can support him with. Even if it's just the 10 free ones, from the castle. Just give him a couple units to help him out, Because if he comes with the Huskalars, then his infantry should be able to handle it with his own champions and slingers. If they go too heavy on Huskalars, then your paladins will be able to clean them up. Same with the Jaguar warriors. So they're gonna have to mix in pikes as long as you have paladins in play, which will make Sharky's position a little bit better to deal with. I'll try to support with, a couple Scorpions, not too many, to help you out, Sharky. Outside that, I'm going to be doing mostly Mugadai.
All right.
And then once if they clump up too much, honor your shot for the win.
Yeah.
Keep those slingers protecting, because you're gonna be faced with those, and those slingers should be kind of around the assets, like the onager.
I literally just went on that.
Oh, okay, cool.
I talked about the slingers. If there's slingers are not there, the Kipchaks or the Mugadai, or if some Scorpions, something has to be with Sharky, because he cannot engage that the Shikari Dobo combo, the Aztec Goth combo. He cannot handle that by himself. He cannot.
So you can't go single unit slingers either. So you'll need a front line of some kind. So obviously you're building infantry plus slingers, and then Munsif already knows that he needs to do the combo stuff.
Got them to resend that Berber's pick, huh?
Had to, man. It was freaking Logan was single-handedly gonna take him on the freaking Titanic.
Whoa, Byzantines. They doubling down on that anti-infantry, man. They're really heavy on that front line.
Shit.
Well, I guess Vassal's probably going to be doing their siege then.
Counter the guy too crazy. Okay. Okay. Man, I want to play like at least one of the new civs. I just haven't played them.
I get you. I get you. You need to hit ready.
Hey, by the way, based on what they've picked, I get the suspicion that they're gonna, because of the Gots and Dobo, I think they're gonna hit early
Probably.
because Gots is a rush, kind of like Munsif think Huns, Sharky think Huns,
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
except it's infantry. So, and you know what he's gonna do, right? Like chances are he'll go like an idiot, balls to the wall early. So you guys are gonna have to build an army early and heavily scout that. Like key, it's gonna be key. Can't just chill out and like be producing when the shit's coming.
Don't forget, he makes units twice as fast.
Yeah. You'll run out of food, but you'll have to hold the first 2 waves.
Тийм ээ. Зүйтэй. Барилгачин захир. Барилгачин. Амар мэндүү. Барилгачин. Бэлэн байна. Барилгачин. Амар мэндүү. Барилгачин.
Oh, I started without any crap. With less stone, so
With less stone, you have at least one for us.
Orange
sorry,
only,
wood. Less wood. Less wood. I'm sorry.
Orange only has 75 wood.
Yeah, I think I started without less wood too. I don't know if it was the.
Sharky, the same
Let
thing.
me just fix that. Please, everybody, tell me one by one who. Okay, just tell me who.
I think he said orange and red.
Red.
Yep.
So from everybody, it was only orange and red. Nobody else, right?
No,
Yes.
was fine. Yeah.
Orange and red. Orange and red. Orange and red. Orange and red. I'm wondering how the Shoaib, how the hell do we play the?
We played that before many times. I
Yeah,
think.
hold on. So let me
Maybe based
quickly
on
go
the
to
same.
orange and orange
Red.
and red. Hold on, red. What? It's for red is good.
Or because the sieve.
How much did you had? Like 500?
Probably wasn't 500 because I.
8. Player 8 is orange. He definitely didn't have it. And player 7 didn't have it. What the shit?
Just
Yeah,
double
but
check
how
the log real
many?
quick.
Yeah. Oh, player 2 too. He only started with 100.
Yeah, that's red.
Yeah, red too. 3, fine.
In case.
Eight and 7. No, 7 was fine. He has 1,000. So it's only Number 8 and number 2. It's only orange and red. Yeah.
You went in here.
It says 7 and 8. Yeah, I know.
Okay, I think I quickly checked that. Okay, save. Quit. Oh, hold on. Save as.
You know, that explains why we probably had to download it again.
Oh. True. You know, maybe true. Because everybody downloaded it. You know, it wasn't that
Yeah,
only 2 people downloaded it. But this game acts like stupid sometimes too. Like everybody has to sometimes download it. A map that you already have.
That's true.
And I never understood that either. Like, never really understood why that was. Let me see. Okay, everybody, join.
was I red or green? That
You were
was red.
green.
So on.
Green?
Mm-hmm. What's up?
What if I did this? No, that wasn't finished. So strange. Shouldn't have been the case. Sharky, your color? Red. And team?
Why you guys
Team
team
1.
2?
I don't.
Oh yeah, I don't
Cool.
know why.
What's up?
Traitor!
I don't know. I was confused between the team and the player. But
That's all good.
first team is ready.
That
Move colors around.
By the way, you know, for the Incas, you're let me see everything. Okay. The Incas, they also are, even the slingers are food and gold too. So you need huge, big farm production. You're not as heavily reliant on wood, Sharky.
All right.
Тийм болбой. Барилгачин бэлэн байна.
I didn't get enough gold, but whatever. Who gives a shit? Oh, that's good for everybody.
Ah, me too.
Yeah, that's good for everybody.
Амар мэндүү. Барилгачин. Тийм үү? Барилгачин байна. Барилгачин. барилгачин захир барилгачин 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 бэлэн байна. Амар мэндүү барилгачин захир барилгачин Тимо барилгачин барилгачин
By the way, the markets. What do you guys suggest for the positioning?
Depends on how much territory we secure.
You guys want to do it in the main?
Helps.
Yeah, 6.
Setting up the archer range.
захир за барилгачин
A key of slingers.
Slingers cost gold.
He's bringing some boars with
Yeah,
him.
just
They're going straight to skirms. And
They're bringing some boars to you, but yeah.
Тимо бэлэн байна. Амар мэндүү захир барилгачин
Start cleaning the boars on the left side.
yep, I'm clearing boars on the center.
Тимо
Scout them. You don't want an army coming at you.
бэлэн байна. Би бол гоё. Тийм ээ. Amrmin boy. Bergdükçe. 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 Bergdükçe.
Захар Бардахчан. Битэн
Захар
Бай.
Bergdükçe. Timo.
I see them. Let's see. I can send my scrims there to help.
Amrmin Bergdükçe. 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 Bizim ben. Захар Bergdükçe. Bergdükçe. Amrmin.
Alright.
How's you guys scouting?
Got a scout.
Тимо.
Mark it.
Бардахчан.
I'm gonna have to go with the same
Timo.
right now. There's a lot of
Yeah, that's fine.
Bergdükçe. Bergdükçe. Bergdükçe.
Битэн Бай.
Eagles around here.
super shot.
Amrmin Bergdükçe. Bergdükçe.
What?
Their whole right side is basically bare. Nothing much. Those eagles were just chasing me around from the center.
It's because that's where Dobo's supposed to be, and he's been spamming out these dudes right here.
Yeah, I don't know what he keep doing that.
Yeah, I'll send my skirmishers to counter them.
Except they aggressively scout.
Yeah, look here.
Yeah. Infantry there.
Large amateurs, large pikes. What's his name? Logan is trying to rush from here.
Бардахчан.
I'm gonna start building
Yeah,
forward there.
they're building forward in my side, facing me.
A lot of excellent ops here. Paladins.
Get your paladins there. Get your production up. Neat.
Bizim ben. Bergdükçe.
Тимо хамар миндүү барилгачин.
What do they got? You guys scouting?
I did. They have a lot of food units here. Like a lot of bikes and skirmishers from Logan. A lot. Like 15. He's fighting with the sensitivity. Even Logan powers
Тимо барилгачин. Мотчин.
Бэлэн байна. Барилгачин.
Захир барилгачин. Бэлэн байна. Тимо мотчин. Барилгачин.
Need our own skirmishers. Okay.
Queue up skirmishers.
Just send everything. I got this. Just send them on the other side. Send your slingers all the way there. Send your slingers all there.
Okay, stand there.
And you got villagers in here and somewhere.
Бэлэн байна. Мотчин. Захир мотчин. Бэлэн байна. Хамар миндүү.
All my slingers died. Shopek could kill them. Holding the line here.
Тимо. Захир. Тимо. Барилгачин.
Бэлэн байна.
Хамар миндүү барилгачин. Бэлэн байна. Захир. Тимо барилгачин.
You're okay there, someone.
Send all your stuff there. Don't even worry about this.
Барилгачин. Барилгачин. Хамар миндүү барилгачин.
closing me.
أمر من دي
For me, close myself. It's fine.
سكر برد أمر من برد 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 تيمو إيبوتغاي تويتر بردخشن
And so your honor, you're just like that, they'll die.
Well, I just arrived, but it's possible to die.
سكر ساعة بردخشن بردخشن
Cut me off from the left. I think I need an onager to counter that.
Sitting back.
Why is it lagging? What the hell is this?
I know.
Hey, can you make like treads or something?
I'm just making a castle right now for the job.
I can help I can send a castle that way.
Hey, move your skirmishers back.
أمر من دو دي بضغاي مبردغشن سكر
Need more army units coming here on my side. The target, I think they're gonna go to my tutorial here. Start them coming. They made it.
What are you guys gonna do?
Moving those skirms to the middle.
Yeah, I'm gonna need them here.
Slingers, where are the slingers?
Let's move forward where Dobo came from.
Sacher i botwoja. Timo. Doorhatchen. Facing van. Berdachchen.
Yeah, move forward your units here, Sharky. Everyone is standing in the way. Killing ramps. I'm making ramps. Killing castle. Let's push from here.
They're pushing.
Yeah. Making ramp there. We just need the infantry to protect the ramp.
Oh,
Why?
can
You're
I?
gonna see again blue did everything. You should play till the end. Yeah, we were struggling, it's true, but it's not because they started getting struggle and then they just give up. Blue was holding only the right side, not the left side. They could have just pushed all together. So they can do that. Yeah, they can do that.
Is the game still going on? GG.
GG.
Yeah, but,
So what's happening?
I
You
don't
done?
know.
No, I guess so.
Very well played, by the way. Good job. Very good work by taking over that one side. That was played well. You guys pushed Salman pretty bad, right? See all those buildings you're done.
Is anybody else talking? Because I can't hear anybody.
I can't even hear anyone.
It's because I'm not talking.
Oh no, not you, but I mean, so I guess Shoaib, you guys did the push, right?
Well, yeah, I think Faisal had most of the initial forces there, then I joined them
Very good.
on that side.
I mean, that was really nice, and then Dobo kind of supported that area, right?
I think Dobo was doing some initial, rushes there with his helps, right?
Uh-huh.
And then basically Faisal and I came in after that to take over that area.
The goal was to try to do something between early and mid game because we know we would lose no matter what past mid game, the end, and that's what happened.
I guess like question I had for you is like, so you guys were doing the pushes, right? From your side, like you were doing the push. So the only thing is that how was your gold situation? Because I feel almost like at some point your momentum died because you were like, I'm out of gold. That's it. Nothing. Can't do anything now.
Yeah, definitely that was an issue for me,
So-
but it all had to do with the early part of the game, right? So
No, but hold on. Yeah, I know. But what I'm saying is that you didn't have to necessarily go hard on gold early to have some targeted units that you needed to protect, right? So technically your gold would not really be an issue.
so here was my thought process, right? We had to do something before you mobilized, right? You can't be in all the different places at the same time, not in the first 20 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
So we had to take advantage of an early, concentrated response. And as a matter of fact, I was really surprised that Salman was, alone. He had a significant attempt to try to control, the 9 o'clock spot.
New map. So basically our guys discombobulated. Completely.
We played this one, right? Played this
Nah,
one.
I know, but discombobulated.
Anyway, it was important to capture that part that Salman was getting. That's the bottom line. and I
Yeah.
told these guys that.
Do you blame it on the new map or the center? Like I was hosing both Munsif and Sharky in the middle.
No,
like
no, no,
they
no,
basically.
no. We haven't touched the center part yet. We're only talking the
'Cause-
that side right now.
And that was our strategy. Saman was left alone.
That's right. That's right. So what I'm saying is that our like basically our guys were too conservative and they didn't expand, so they didn't contest. So basically they let you go in mid and past midline, and they didn't. So
Yeah,
so
that's we were
inherently,
counting on
so,
that.
so inherently, that was, you know, whatever. That was
Yeah,
going to be
so-
the issue. And the difference is in the previous map, it just seemed like maybe they were, you know, obviously they were like more freer in terms of because of the way the structure of the map is, because the map is oriented a little differently. In that map, the Munsif made a concerted effort to take mid properly. In this game, he was more conservative, so he kind of gave up the center. Like we were like very conservative, right? Most of the fight happened on our side of the area, right? So from your guys' side, it was great to actually not only take the center, but you went center up, like a little. I think it was like a little further. So even if there was a problem, you still have a buffer of you. It's not like you lose territory. You would still come to center, but you gained center and a little up front, right? So because on the mid side that kind of was collapsed, or it wasn't necessarily there. Basically, Salman didn't really have any assistance, and then of course Logan did a great job of suppressing the forces on mid side, right? And basically, I mean, Munsif didn't have anything, to be honest, at that point. Like, Munsif didn't have anything, and Sharky's economy was like garbage. And so Sharky was kind of struggling a lot. So when you guys attacked, Sharky was actually struggling like tremendously. And so whatever little gold units he had, he just kind of like, at some point he just sent them. Maybe they weren't as effective at all because you guys by that time really had pushed Salman. And so basically at some point Salman wasn't really communicating, like, or whatever other, he had some reasons of his own, but basically he started Xing that all this stuff was going out, and then Munsif and Sharky weren't as like receptive to, like, as opposed to someone saying something to them, as opposed to an X on the map. So it took them a little bit to react to whatever that was. So at some point they didn't even see, you know, like, actually they didn't know what was coming. Like, they kind of knew, but they didn't know. They just saw like a blur of units, but that's all they couldn't say this unit is destroying this unit and I need that unit. Like, they couldn't. It was just for them it was just like an ocean of units coming, and they're just kind of like stick to their role, kinda. Like, that's what their role was. So and because of like which I liked actually, the way you guys came in, it kind of like made it very hard for Munsif to kind of like really get his siege going or even get any protection going. So basically it was kind of, it was a struggle, and you know, I didn't immediately go there. I kind of like, I wanted to first kind of, you know, deal with Logan for a little bit, but I had kind of like sent my villagers already past that area. So essentially and you know, obviously the Krepos that I had really helped save that side with the barracks that I had. Like, that was enough to generate. So basically the suppression, but Logan's suppression was pretty good, because essentially I guess Munsif couldn't really do anything because at that point he had lost his buildings and production, so he was building a little behind now. And the problem was that by that time Salman's side was getting overwhelmed, and yeah, and so basically, you know, it was kind of like basically two of our players were kind of out for the most part, and Salman was kind of in his own, and Salman lost a lot of his buildings. So Salman was just trying to hold a line, so he was defending the trade, which he did a pretty good job actually. He just kind of, all he was doing was just somehow trying to keep the trade alive. And so as long as he was able to kind of just somehow try to keep the trade alive, That just based Salman defending that trade side basically gave enough, time. And then of course I had to provide some kind of buffer for defense without just completely being a total collapse because the numbers were overwhelming. So that's why I was saying, like, I thought that you guys did a tremendous job, and with Logan suppressing, which was great. But the suppression would have not happened if Munsif had actually built like he does usually in mid. But the problem is, because of whatever the orientation or whatever the thing is, he ended up just kind of like being around the initial resource area. Yeah, right? And then Munsif, I think he even called it, he's like, hey, they just got like up front. But, I mean, that's fine to say it, but then nobody really did anything about it. And so Munsif was like trying to defend, and he felt maybe comfortable with the defense because Dobo was sending some units over, so he felt like, oh yeah, everything is good. But we all knew, but essentially the attack was going to come on Salman's side anyway. So the issue was,
my question was Salman able to help Munsif or Sharky at all?
say that again? No.
Okay.
Salman was basically trying to stay alive, defend trade, and basically try to just the one choke point that was Munsif's side, which was about to collapse. Basically, was just right at the edge of collapse. He was just using the barrier, the natural barrier that was there, to hold the collapse. That's what Salman was doing. Because there was a time that basically Salman was trying to produce, and Munsif really didn't. I mean, he didn't even have production buildings because they were getting destroyed. So he basically had his siege workshop. So whatever were Munsif's initial buildings that he had built, he was only left with those initial buildings. Like,
right.
Yeah.
So anyway, our strategy was really simple, right? We had the early game strategy, right? So anything we had to do, we cannot allow Munsif to go mid game. That was bottom line. Sharky as well, right? So we know for a fact that Sharky is pretty much a non-impactful early game, and we needed to keep it that way. Sharky shows up past mid game. So any hopes we had, and of course, the goal was that we had to somehow try to make a win happen before the middle of the, because that's pretty much when you were intimating, you sent villagers over. We needed to do something before you were able to establish a footprint. So we all agreed that it had to be done from the beginning to the mid part of the game. And like I said, there was, regardless of the newness of it, we know that we had to let Bilbo loose a little bit, right? So, it wasn't necessarily, anything that was tide turning, but it was the necessary initial harassment to slow their early game down, whether it was Munsif or Sharky, right? To continue to lag their progress. And then the big challenge was to deny Salman the 9 o'clock X. Right. To me, it was the bottom line. The game was going to be decided based on the 9 o'clock, and he knew it too, because Salman had some presence, okay, and Logan initially played it down, but I'm telling you, so Salman, that presence Salman brought was nothing to laugh at, and it took basically me and Shoaib essentially to beat him back.
Hey,
right?
I didn't play it down. I said it's just him, like meaning the other two aren't going to assist. That's all I was trying to say.
Yeah, but when you add the word "just," you see what I'm saying? It's like you're saying it like it's just Munsif or it's just Sharky. That's not the same thing as saying it's just Salman, right? So I'm just saying that's. Well,
it was like 3-on-1. It was, you guys had it, and that's what happened.
You're missing my point. My point.
No, I get your point clearly, but what I'm saying is you're missing my point.
What's my point?
What I'm saying, it was just him. I had the other two covered. I told you that. So it was just free, one guy. That's all. So
okay, but you still miss my point. My point. my point was the 9 o'clock X spot was important.
Yes, I agree. What I'm saying though is that when it was just Salman there, okay, I told you. So my statement's not done. That's the funny thing, is when I say just Salman, the two are in middle. That's the whole statement, and I feel like you literally just listened to just Salman. Now do you get it? So it wasn't. I wasn't done when I said that. So I think we got that, right?
Yeah, but again, my point remains.
If I
which
just
was
said
the-
just Saman, then yes, I see how that could be construed incorrectly. So yeah.
and that's how it was in game. That's how it got construed. So anyway, the point being the 9 o'clock X. All right, let's forget about Saman. The 9 o'clock X, regardless of whoever's handling mid, the 9 o'clock. So if you're handling mid and we failed to collect the resources, forget about beating back someone. If we did not clear out the resources, we lose the game. That's what I'm trying to get at. If Salman gets to those resources at the 9 o'clock X, right, we lose the game. It doesn't matter how much you beat back the mid guys. That's what I'm saying. And that's a highly contentious statement I'm making, because I'm telling you that your efforts in mid don't matter.
Correct.
If
I
they,
do agree with that. Sure.
if they capture, if Salman is allowed access to those resources in the 9 o'clock X, it's game over. So anyway, our whole idea was deny Salman the 9 o'clock X, no matter what. And Logan did absolutely do a great job with the suppression, and he kept the other two from he basically and I would give credit to Dobo too. So these guys are the early game guys, right? And so as much harassment as can be caused, as much havoc as can be caused early game, so that it's not overly catastrophic or fatalistic, but enough to slow it down to where Saman is pretty much left fending off multiple colors and nobody on his side's joining in, and it's too early in the game for blue to show up. It's just not, even blue needs time to establish, right? So we had maybe a 25-minute window, tops 30 tops. If there was any chance for us to win, it had to be within that. We couldn't do it, so we lost.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, all I'm saying is that it sounds to me still that there seems to have been some kind of mismanagement of gold units that are there to take buildings out and create like your pushes.
Definitely, everybody went non-judicious building setup. You could see, I didn't see the market setup you guys had, but ours wasn't particularly good, and I only had 9 trade carts by the time I was doing anything as far as by the time I was close to Salman's side of the base, I only had 9 trade carts. Okay, so and our setup was bad, and I had to actually point it out because everybody was dropping their necessary aggressive eco setup like mad, and it didn't occur to people that they needed to set down the markets even. Okay, so I'm just saying that but once again, those are normally paradigms for, we're trying to string it out, right? But our aim was, let's end this quick or we're done. And that's been our only answer to the last 2 games. What we've seen in the last 2 games is, regardless if they're new maps or whatever, the point is once Salman is able to settle in, once Munsif is able to relax and do his city architecture, whatever it is he does.
Oh shit! Called Munsif out with his architecture.
Yeah, once he's licensing out cul-de-sacs, it's game over.
Licensing out cul-de-sacs. Damn, Munsif, I didn't know that you. Munsif, I didn't know you were a nigga and an architect at the same time.
State,
Goddamn.
You can't be a nigga without being an architect. So
You haven't heard about diamond smugglers from Africa?
Oh shit, that too. Okay. So what I'm saying is that over time, the gold,
the gold units, and then Logan was calling it out towards the end, which we should have recognized earlier. We should have just used the onager to cut through that whole chokehold, right? In the bottom near the markets, right?
Right.
Wow, what a moment.
Yeah, I mean
After,
he was.
yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean
What a wall there. I was actually actively watching for any onagers.
Right.
Gotcha. Okay.
He already looked at that, but I think that wasn't really the issue. The issue to me was still the fact that if it was 1v3 for the most part, and you were had overwhelming numbers, that is a little bit suspect to me that it seems like maybe your gold units that were doing the main pushing, like they died very quickly. So then I don't know if you guys remember that 2 armies fight, 1 army stands, maybe yours, but you have nothing to push with. So then you're stuck and you're sitting around. You're like, huh, now what? So now you're forward building, but then you're still kind of stuck around because, I mean, you have an excessive army, which, by the way, continued to put a whole ton of pressure where Munsif was completely suppressed and then Sharky was completely suppressed on the other side. So then it was literally a matter of like, okay, we just need to have the pushing unit that we need. And by the way, I mean, it's not like you didn't do a good job. You had the castle, and then I think you guys did make some trebs. You did have some trebs that you were
Some,
using.
yeah, but not enough. But yeah, some. Because I think
Because
the other thing was in the mayhem, or in the like I guess the the pushing and everything else. I mean, ironically, the resources that we basically were trying to deny, we were kind of slow in really mining those as well, right? So that also was another factor.
Not me. I cleared out that 9 o'clock X. That
Yeah,
was
you
my
know that
goal.
was sorry. Yeah, that part you did, but the middle 2 parts we didn't clear out.
I see. Yeah, that could have been. I mean, that could have been. But here's the thing: the middle stuff, there wasn't really any gold there, right? So what I'm saying is that the gold push that was needed seems like it just seems to me like kind of weird that you guys are saying that you like 3v1 the guy and then got kind of like stuck.
No, because there's a lot to now keep track of.
Okay.
So by the time the 3v1, I mean, it's not, we're not dealing with AI here. We're dealing with someone. He upped the ante with his micro, pretty much, and so he was sniping significantly, and he was, again, it was like you were saying, buying enough time for basically blue to come in, and blue did, right? And then it allowed the other team members to. We knew this was going to happen, and we called it pretty much when this happened, because once you guys are able to come together, there's much more skill, period. There's just much more skill between blue and yellow to absolutely neuter and negate all the entirety of the entire team on the other side. And that's just the bottom line. So, and that's what happened. That's what happened at the very end. All right, it was sniping, targeting, enhanced micromanagement of units, and so it's a skill level contest at that point, which we know we're going to lose. It was calculated we're going to lose that. The whole key was to not allow you to install yourself. Once blue shows up, it's game over, and we ran out of time. So we had an opportunity. It came close, and this is one of those games. There were other games where we came close. I'm sure someone remembers. There was this one time where we almost had his Vittoria, and then I think in fact I got excited about it, and I was telling I started yelling in the stream. I think it was Logan, and I said, "Go, go, go!" It's almost gone.
Logan was Goss that game, right?
Yeah. And so we had those scenarios where we came close to essentially taking down someone. So those are the good games in which you deny someone, strategic, capture points, and come close to essentially taking out the Vittoria, because the objective is to take out the Vittoria. So we could not galvanize at the end, and we knew that we have as a collective, we have significant problems. We do not know what to do once we're in the thick of a battle. We're particularly worse off as a team collective on the other side of someone when the other team or opponents orchestrate a counterattack. So if the team that we're opposing initially, we're doing a good job and overwhelming, we kind of get overly celebratory. We can hear that. If we ever record our stuff, you can hear it in our streams, especially Shoaib. Yeah, good job.
Oh shit!
And what he has no idea is how the other team is like, as he's saying it, they're reconfiguring themselves, and then before you know it, it's like we're getting our asses handed to us. I've seen that way many times than ever. And when the other team reconfigures, we do not counter reconfigure. This has been my harping thing, my grievance now for the longest time. And there's just no. If there is anything that needs to be improved, it is that, and I'm not sure how we're going to do that. Okay, so that's my 2 cents there.
Okay, Shoaib, can you speak to your experience in what you thought, like from just Fasil's counterpoint on the configuration and that stuff? Like, is that what was the struggle?
In this particular game or in general?
No. Forget about even general. I'm saying even in this game.
Okay.
I mean, you had. So what I'm saying is, you did a great job. It's not like you don't know how to push, because you literally pushed him off that whole area. I mean, you cleaned out the whole area. I'm looking at the map. You literally cleaned the guy out there. So it's not like you don't know how to push. So kudos, you guys did a good job on the push. So what I'm saying is, but at some point, it stalled. So what I'm saying is, what was that point of stallment? Was that you were getting countered and like your units were just dying and then you don't know what to do? Or was it like, like what?
They hit the wall.
No. I know.
Well, that, and I think, I mean, at least I know, I think Faisal called out that he was struggling with gold, and I was also kind of struggling with gold as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I was basically, at one point I ended up towards the end like selling my wood because I wasn't really using it for gold, right?
Right.
Then I sent some to Faisal, and then I basically had some myself, and I was basically about to start producing, rams and trebs, right?
Right. I see. So if you Faisal, so to that point, I would simply say this: if you have a layered gold army type scenario, like the way you came, right, where you had an advantage. So think about it this way. We had more food units, you had more gold-centric units. So you basically overwhelmed what we had. Okay? It's simple math. I mean, literally you had more gold and you overwhelmed us. Now, what does that mean? That means that if we cannot muster with enough proper units that are gold units, not food. Like, I wouldn't, like with the shit that you had, I would not be coming with like 30 skirmishers. Like if I came with 30 skirmishers, that's auto loss. So the thing is that we had to come up with our own I wouldn't even say counter. Let me put it this way. Okay, so from your side that we had I'm just saying like the civs we had, right? So Mongol guy is gonna go siege and Mungadai generally kind of like that's generally, right? So in any given fight, you will see those two units arrive. You also saw that. By the way, let me ask any of you a question. Did you know the Inca pick, what it was for?
I think we were thinking it would be more for the Eagles, but I mean, I know they have a lot of other units too, like the Slingers and technically the Slingers could counter the Goths.
That's right. Good job. So good job. That's exactly right.
Good job. Yes,
good job right there. I want him to end on a good note before he gives another explanation, and then I have to shut him down.
Because I know one point Logan called out the Slingers. I was like, yeah, those are anti-infantry, right?
That's right. That's exactly right. Except we didn't have that many, so it didn't matter. You see? So what I'm saying is that even though I want you to think about it, because it was the flip. So it wasn't that they weren't counters, and maybe it wasn't that you didn't have the right counters from your perspective. Maybe it was just simply that you didn't have the gold. You see what I'm saying? Because
hold on. I know what you're saying, and correct. So if we had that chance for us to capitalize and potentially win the game, and it would be by a hair. It would have assumed that we would have had our shit together to end. But you see, the problem here is that the overlap was our winning chances dropped to almost nil, close towards zero, starting from the middle of the game. Period. I've noticed this as a trend. Okay. So the moment we start the game, we launch the game, it's an even thing, and then my side rapidly drops. I mean, like linear, it's like drop. Okay. So by the time we're in the middle of the game, your team actually, because of the better domain knowledge and better instruction, and also the improvement in the players, and also because once you have powerful players, they cover for the weaknesses of the weaker players. Coupled with all of that, you guys are on the climbing up on the graph with the chances to win, and we are 100% always falling down to the losing side. So mentally, I figured out that the midpoint of the game is where we have to be close to winning the game by the middle of the game, or we're never going to win the game. That's just the bottom line. So
Yeah,
my whole point.
I know that's what you're saying, but what I'm saying is that there's.
But let me just respond to a couple of points. I wanted to lay that out because this was why the emphasis on gold was not a immediate thought. It was a it was not a dominating thought. It was the thought process of a more veteran player would probably be what you're saying, since we're not veteran players, and because we were coming up with something that's roughshod, but the best that we can come up with, that's what we came up with, right? And it was not goal dependent. So the only other thing I'll say is that we knew that the goal of Salman at that point was to buy time for you to come in and his other teammates to come in. But we wanted to create that situation where Salman is not expanding, controlling, dominating, but rather retreating and buying time.
Yeah,
and we achieved that, right?
I completely understand that, but what I'm trying to tell you is that so you traded one advantage for another disadvantage. So I'll explain. That the advantage is that, oh, we're gonna go in and help gain an advantage in this one area. But then what ends up happening, just letting you know, the other advantages that you have gained over so far, like in previous games, you completely drop them. You completely drop them, right? And so what generally happens is at some point there's going to be some kind of a push or resistance that comes, right? And you're thinking that, oh, maybe we'll get there and maybe we'll be able to do X, Y, and Z or whatever. All you're really doing is like changing the dynamic of the experience, but you're not really changing the learning context. Remember, that's the reason why we're not going random. So what I'm saying is this. I'm saying that the more constants you have, the more and the less variables you have, the easier you have on saying, okay, maybe we can't work on the maybe the 10 variables, but maybe we can work on 3. But the constants are constant throughout. Like the one thing you can always make sure is your constants remain the same. And every, say, week, you're saying, okay, guys, maybe these 2 things or 3 things are what we're going to work on, right? Something like that. So what does that mean is it creates much more of a stable early mid game for you guys. So for example, like, look, I would use an experience like this and say, okay, we were able to overwhelm the guy, but there were certain tactics we used, number one, but then maybe our resource management was bad, right? So now you'll have to figure out that, okay, out of so many things that you're trying to do, how are we going to address the resource management? And usually this is what happens. Because of the player capability, the resource management itself is what takes Sharky longer, or say Munsif longer, right? By the way, it applies to you guys too. That's exactly what slows you down and takes you longer. But here's the other thing. Maybe you don't need as many gold units to overwhelm the guy. Maybe it can be a food fight with some anecdotal, like it was before the markets. Like it was gold units primarily with some anecdotal food units with some anecdotal gold units. You know what I mean?
I mean, even in this game, like early on, I mean, that's where like Dobo was coming with the food unit helps, and then I was coming with the hussars, right?
Right.
And then also I was Spanish, so I had the bomber tower as well. Right. So I mean, obviously Fast Eagles helped, but maybe like to your point, maybe we didn't need that many.
So I guess right, exactly, Shoaib. So what I'm saying is there seems to be an overkill. Like how you guys say that, oh, blue is here, or Salman goes to the one side, and then there's I know Logan for a fact says that oh my god, we had this like
But
overreaction.
True, but at least a positive from my side is that I mean, it was nice to see kind of Faso go kind of like heavy offense, right?
Sure.
Because I think that gives the team more flexibility, right? So it's not always me and Logan kind of like pairing up together. I mean, that was pretty
Oh,
nice.
that's really nice because you want Fassel to be a little bit more offensive if he can. Like that's a huge thing. The only thing is like dynamically you have to figure out like somebody has to at the on the team
Yeah,
level
or like
figure out
after
the
like
goal.
or after like he cleaned it up, maybe I should have like asked him, like, hey, why don't you go back or work on your eco and I'll kind of hold this area or
There
something.
you
And
go.
I mean, so
Yes.
my point is, since we had a big advantage, we could have actually taken a few minutes, to kind of regroup and then come
There
back,
you go.
come back
That's
hard instead of
yep.
continuously, pumping shit out and then
That's right.
not getting the same
That's
impact.
it. That's exactly it. Like literally, that's exactly it.
Well, it's
I didn't have to say
priorities.
anything.
One big thing is Fassel. How long were you stuck at 135 pop? I saw you were still commanding units when you needed to build houses and stuff. You were stuck at that, and I think that was a big thing. You would have like built up a big army, but because you're stuck at 135, you just couldn't. Do you remember how long you were stuck there?
No, because I had
Sounds like
I
you're sick
had
of the 200 number, man.
And then you had two guys
yeah,
building a castle, and that was taking so long. I was like, you need to make houses. You should not be relying on this castle to give you the extra pop. Shit.
I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, like I said, I had a mental timer going off in my head, right? I actually was running a timer, and it was close to like 35 minutes, and it didn't matter to me because here's the real reality. Okay, regardless of all the other things we're talking about, no way being for all of us being a 200 pop. Okay, let me just say this to you: it wouldn't have mattered. Once the midpoint of the game comes in, I could be completely banging away at 200 pop. You could be banging away at 200 pop, and we would have our asses handed to us. GG.
Yeah, and that's where we want to learn, right? Fassel, the point isn't that it's an automatic GG. What I'm saying is that that's where the learning comes. All the only thing is this. We're trying to ensure that we're building on constant stuff and remove the chaotic stuff so that you're not left with this feeling of like, well, shit, we lost. GG. No, that's not a good analysis. The good analysis is okay, there we built right, we forward built right, and we kind of got our units right. So what was the thing that failed, right?
I'll tell you right now that because neither yourself nor Soman are in our side. Okay, there is not enough game understanding from a collaborative perspective to have a push to end strategy. We haven't had it, and it has not moved. Even if you establish constants, there has not been anything. There's been plenty of times I've been sitting back and saying, okay, well, we diverted, we digressed. You asked Shoaib, and he just zeroed in on talking about specifically what went wrong relating to gold and maybe pulling it back. But I'm going to go back to my grievance. My grievance is we start out with a setup. It's a good setup. We get overexcited and over celebratory about it because we make gains. And then we have zero response when it comes to opponents reconfiguring. And it wouldn't matter. That's what I'm trying to tell Logan. It wouldn't matter if we had booming. I could have 100,000 food, 100,000 wood, 100,000, gold and stone, and we will still lose. We will lose because we do not understand how a reconfigured opponent is cleaning us out.
Yeah, Faisal, I'll only push you on that, which is this: there is a difference in the fact that when you guys are configuring your teams and in your civ choices, you already have imagined what your layered army is going to look like. So the question simply is do you have established a constant already? The question is how long can you maintain that constant? If you're not able to maintain that constant due to X, Y, and Z reasons, then suddenly that becomes problematic. So what are the constants? Constants can be resources, constants can be pops, constants can be like well, to me those two are huge, right? So what I'm saying is that that look at games where you guys actually didn't really have that much problem in the maybe in the resources, and you didn't have problem with the pop, but it was more like positioning, and you didn't even have to worry about micro. But here's the thing: in that game, you guys did tremendously great because and pushed back and were winning battles. The key is you want to win battles, right? Because think about it, you winning battles against Salman allowed you access to land. You winning battles. So the yardstick has to be this: are you able to beat Salman in and win battles, not wars, not the whole war, battles, because battles give you tactical advantage to unlocking areas. So I think from a strategic standpoint, yes, it's very sound. The gains you've made by denying Salman, that was a strategic gain. Okay, so that was a good thing. Now I'm saying from a tactical standpoint, you could have the great strategy, you made gains on it. But now from the tactical standpoint, the little details matter. And let's just even put micro to one side. The tactical side, it matters if resources are there. It matters if, because the thing is, from the tactical standpoint, if any one of those things fails, guess what actually fails? The layered army upon which you had built your strategy of the 4 civs you choose. The moment one or the other drops like entirely, then the rest of the guys, maybe you or maybe Shoaib or whoever, feels the wrath of what's coming. So at that point, one can argue and one can say, holy shit, we're getting rocked. And we don't know how to counter this. But what's hidden in all of this mess is the guy who's in charge of delivering his units, that's part of the larger of the how you initially envisioned, is actually not able to deliver that. That's the problem that you guys generally experience. So it's not like you if because I've seen it, when you are set up with your 4 layered like units coming in, your Eagle Warriors going in, and then the Pallies going. I mean, you guys are rocking. So the difference simply is, so the last game, the difference was the positioning was off. Everything else was actually fine because the resources were okay from you guys. In this game, you actually learned something of strategic importance. So instead of like generally on the tactical side, you actually learned strategically. Strategically, you guys actually learned to take over an area and deny, which is huge because generally you're not doing that generally. But this game, you actually did it, which was great. And therefore, you created this pressure. Okay? Now, all I'm saying is, but then, just the nature of RTSs, by the way, the game isn't just you have a strategy side, you have this tactical side, and by tactical, I absolutely am taking off micro from the table. On the tactical side, at a minimum, there are certain things that people are going to have to do. My whole thing to Logan would be is, dude, Fassel, who's generally a support, and if he's playing aggressive, his mental queue is going to be limited, man. I mean, it's just what it is. If he's microing units up front, sending shit up front, and that is that. So what you're saying is Fassel is like working on a gear or two above than what he generally does. Generally, he's not on the 3rd gear or 4th gear. Generally, he's on gear number 2, as in support. The moment he configures to gear number 3 or 4, well, you can forget about what's going on in the base. I guarantee you that. And that's not just true for him. That's true for like everybody else too. So, then it's kind of like, oh, you have some muscle memory things and you have some people who are used to doing certain things. So it's like, like they're good with certain elements, but then maybe other elements go down. And by the way, this is true for everyone and at every different level. The thing that all you guys got to do is like, look, experiencing good gains in different areas, like strategic gains. Maybe it didn't win, but that's okay. Maybe you're like, oh, on the tactical side, sometimes like last game, tactically, actually you won. Not necessarily just overall strategy, but tactically you actually gained significantly because at the end of the day, the army, the layered army that you envisioned, you had the resources to produce them. Micro or no micro. Which, by the way, forced me to actually try to play that game and try to break that because we did not have an answer for what you had. So full resources, with your full resources, you guys actually win that. From a tactical to tactical perspective, right? So what I'm saying is, it was actually a great night because the last game was a huge win in terms of tactical execution. This
All I'm
game
s-
was huge from a strategic
Yeah,
execution.
only thing I'm saying is that we played 3 games tonight. I was mostly sedate and subdued in the first 2. I let Logan and Shoaib,
Shoaib.
as usual, let these guys do most of the talking.
Oh, okay.
All right. So this was different. I said, I'm going to make an impact. All right. I'm going to
Right.
show them making an impact. And like I said, when I brought to the table the things that I needed to bring to the table, we did really well. All right. And so the areas where we felt short, that were bound to happen, I actually calculated that this was all going to happen. I knew that our chances, this is why I keep repeating myself. I knew we were going to lose by the middle of the game because any chance we had everything to do with the early strategic denial and then, Logan's suppression. It starts with Dobo. Dobo, he has a stronger early game and he has an aggressive early game and he has continued to show that and demonstrate that over both Munsif and Sharky. So we knew that letting Dobo loose was going to be helpful. It was not going to be game changing, but it was necessary to lag the other 2 players, while me and definitely Shoaib, were going to deny Salman. Right, that was our goal. So we knew we had a limited amount of time before you got a chance to set up. Once Blue shows up, once you lose your first opportunity, it's. I'm telling these guys, this is what I'm trying to show. When I stepped in with my own aggressive activity, we came very close to winning, which could not be said and has not been able to be said in any other games these guys have definitely tried to talk about. What do we do this game? What do we do that game? Right? And these guys have had full reign in our discussions. Right? Tell me your ideas. Well, I'm listening in. Right? And as usual, if anybody's being halfway honest, they should be able to see the pattern. Once the game hits the midpoint, it's a losing battle. So I defy anybody to deny that.
Yeah, but Faisal, I don't think it's about the winning or losing as much as it's a matter of like saying,
No, the
okay,
winning and the losing is is basically it's a euphemism for saying the grievances that are not being addressed, that there is zero effort toward addressing those grievances.
yeah, but Faisal, what I'm saying is that's why we cannot just always keep changing the paradigm. If the paradigm it keeps changing, you'll never be able to troubleshoot or figure out what exactly is the weakness because the variables will continue to change. So for example, in one game maybe a guy doesn't have a problem with some resources, and the next game he has a problem with the resources. I mean, someone has to also be able to consider the fact that part of the thing that you guys did was you guys had like early game civs. So what I'm saying is, it's kind of like akin to this. Okay, guys, let's try to give us the best chance. Let's take Huns, let's take Gots, let's go. Like let's do that early game stuff. What I'm saying is, when you choose a civ, anything other than what that civ is, you're dead. Actually, the early game, the thing that you're thinking early and early mid, you won't even make it because the other civs are slower. So what I'm trying to say is that there is a difference between the Civ choices, but what I liked about the Civ choices this time you guys had was there was synergy, like good synergy. There was some early synergy, some mid to late synergy. So if I in the end saw like your units, like as a total, you guys had the early, mid, and late covered. That's what I really liked about what you had. You see what I'm saying? The thing is that you guys should be able to play the early, mid, late. But here's the thing: it's okay when you lose like if you eventually lose the war because you got like a few cracks at it and you couldn't figure it out. Okay, fine. Understand that without even talking, without post game analysis, you guys should be saying, "Hey guys, when we started the game, this was the our best is this army. Were we able to maintain that army? And were we able to get to that army? If you're not able to get that army, and if you're not able to maintain that army, chances are you lose. Like the battles. Like you keep losing those battles. So the key element is to, from a learning perspective, simply saying that, okay, we're doing pretty good with our Civ choices. We also learned like something on strategy, but we all know everybody has limitations. I mean, just like you're trying to exploit the limitations of our guys.
Final comments from everybody.
I guess Munsif, were you? Can you talk about your experience about like the mid, like how, like what was your mid like? I know you wanted to go mid with Sharky, but you couldn't.
I mean, we were yes. Question is, I mean, okay, it's many things to say, but anyways, initially that strategy wasn't to go to mid only; it was just to hold mid by the time we move to the left side where Salman was initially, and then that didn't go as planned. It took a while to be executed, but I mean to summarize, I really give credit to you guys, to the other team. I mean, you guys did really good. From the strategy was well executed. I was joking about the machine learning, but you guys actually were thinking about how
Oh
to do it,
shit!
and Faisal was thinking about it, and he found the right one to execute. Like he was what you said is perfect. It's exactly what it is. Like if you guys don't take advantage in initially, you guys gonna lose afterward, which is true. It happened before. It's not something that it's obvious now. But the question is the way I okay, I had a lot of things on me. I didn't expect those things. Every player did really good. Dobo, starting from Dobo till the last one till Logan. Uh, it has been well implemented. Logo was keep coming. I wished Dobo played the way he played in the last few games. We would have finished those games faster. But he kept sending his units like every, maybe I would say every 2-3 minutes. He had a good batch of units that he sent, and those batches are not like slow. They are like at least 20-25 units at a time, which was fine. I mean, I understood that when I saw the stats, I saw he got help from his teammates, from the resources. He has received a good amount of resources, so I assume they were all food uh, resources. Anyways, so that was good. It was well executed. Logan did his job. I mean, there is nothing to say. He went based on what was in the strategy. He held two players and he left the other two players to deal with Salman. So I mean, that was executed. There is nothing else to say. And he did some push, and at the end, of course, I mean, Blue took over, but that was obvious too. But at the end, he did what he had to do. So the question is, was the execution between Faisal and Shuaib, it initially went good, and then it starts slowing down little by little, and then we understood the reason why based on the resources. Um, Maybe my suggestion was, as Shuaib has mentioned, if you guys went back just for a few minutes, maybe for 5-6 minutes, so you guys gather up. That's what I always mention when we try to push. It's better to push all together than everyone keep going different orientation. If you guys like went back for a few minutes, so everybody like set up a point there, so you guys or accumulate all your forces, and then you do a major push, I think we would have finished the game much earlier. From my corner, I was struggling, not economically. I was struggling to produce. If you see the stat, the maximum I was able to produce army units were, I think, in the 40s, 45 or 46, if I recall. And that's the maximum unit I was able to produce. I didn't expect that initial push from you guys, so usually I take my time. Even though it was called from Horem before the game started, that we will see you guys before the I mean initial game. We're gonna start seeing you guys
I actually
compared
gave
to
you
the
a heads up
previous,
too.
yeah, compared to the previous
I gave you a
games.
heads
Yes,
up too in game.
yes. And that's what happened. Literally, that's what happened. And the way Horam has explained it, it's like he was playing in my shoes. Literally, that's exactly what happened. Whatever he said, that's exactly what happened from my side. So I couldn't produce much. I was kind of disoriented. Should I go to the right to face Logan? Should I go to Salman's to help him out? I start sending my units initially from right to left. The reason why, because initially I started building in Logan's side, and then I was starting to make buildings in Salman's side. That's where you guys already started pushing us, which was kind of too late for me to help Salman. And Salman was struggling too. At the time I went to help him, he was already building back, and he lost a lot of surface in the map. So that's kind of GG for you guys. I mean, it was struggling initially. I mean, I will call it for you guys. You guys won this game. There is no point about it. But my synergy start coming out at the end. But at that time, Logan has give up. I understood that, like, when I saw the replay, I saw that Blue has took over him. But I mean, if Logan went back to help the other teammates and start building back, I think you guys could have finished at this game at least 1 or 2 victorias. But didn't happen. I don't like when games finish, somebody give up and the other teammates didn't agree with it. I don't like it. So at least if somebody give up, I prefer that the other ones are aware of it and they agree for it before they give up. I don't like that someone just give up and then let their other teammates just playing by themselves. That's a key. It's happened before. I don't like to see it again. But overall, it was a good game. I mean, the algorithm worked fine. I mean, kudos for everyone. That's what I would say.
Well, the funny thing, Mutsuv, is I thought they were all saying resigned, and so I was like, okay. And then I resigned, and I'm like, wait, they're still playing?
Well, that's the funny thing,
So
because I
that's what
was
happened.
expecting everybody to
I
resign at the
was,
same time, but it didn't.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
but
my
it's nice. It's nice. I hope that next game next week will go as fast as this one. So I mean,
yeah.
I would literally handcuffed, and I've been slapped twice in this game, which is good. So it's a wake up call for me too. So
So
that's very
is
good.
Shuaib, are you still on?
Yes,
There
sir.
he is. All right, you saw that picture, right? But besides the picture, so Fassel
Which picture?
in WhatsApp, but Fassel played him. I don't mean like he had his best game. I mean in terms of the aggression and all that stuff, leading. I think I was onto something when I asked you, Fassel, about the stone. And this is not my part. This is not your part. This is Shoaib. Shoaib, what was your unit composition you were going to make?
I was when the game started. I was initially planning to do pallies,
And
some
Conquistadors, right?
conquistadors, and
Yeah.
rams.
And that's
Right.
what would have helped Fassel push through Saman. And when I asked Fassel about his stone, you needed to hound him because you need your conquistadors, right? And then Fassel pointed out, why aren't you mining these stone? So the fact that you were like basically because you're a Cav, you couldn't do much. So hence why you're killed. Like the KD was so low. I think that's why we hit a stalemate. Is that Fassel ran out of steam, and then the army that was supposed to support him basically went mid to help me, even though that army should have kept helping Fassel. And it's because his unit composition never reached the full with the conquistadors. I think that what it ended up being. Dang.
Okay, well so I mean at the end of the day those are the things. Those are that's the type of situation that happens like if you're not able to build your type of unit that you envisioned in the beginning. Remember, always this is the key. If you cannot build the based on the civ picks the units that you were envisioning like when you picked them, by the way, regardless of what the other team's doing, your units, like what you're doing is this. I see what you're doing. The other team, I see what you're doing in terms of your unit combo. Because you can do a civ to civ compare, like I counter you, you counter me. But some of those counters don't exactly go 1-to-1 when you're dealing with like a layered 4v4. So the thing is, what you're saying is this. We bet that our layered army, for the lack of a better word, because only you guys understand this language, our death ball will be able to beat yours. That's what you're saying. Because you feel very good about your civ choices. You see what I mean? Now, if you're not able to accomplish that or something is lacking, then that means that in the large picture of the layers that you had, something is amiss. And I think maybe Logan, that's what you're trying to allude to. That maybe if the backbone was supposed to be brought by conquistadors as an example, or maybe in the previous game it was going to be the Rams, but if the Rams weren't there, then what does that mean? I mean, you're screwed. I mean, you're literally screwed. Or like if the conks are not there, well, I guess you're screwed. Or if maybe like infantry isn't there, well, then the guys in the back, even if he has onagers and conks, they'll die. Like they're screwed. So that is kind of like what I was getting at. That it's okay that if you're the end game for the unique unit total combination of your civs ends up not winning, you learn a lesson about the different combinations. And then next time you're like, okay, you know what? Like this particular combination doesn't work, so we may try this other type of combination which may be stronger, right? So those things can happen. So, but I felt at least the good news is that in the last few games, your civ choices were very good. Like you're picking up minus the Berber shit. I think like yes, the civ choices that you complemented were very well chosen. I mean, I can see like in a death match where you got those heavy gold units versus heavy gold units, it would be a tough battle. I mean, it wasn't like anyone had an easy win. So to me, that for the moment you start the game off, from that foot, it means that okay, now we just need to see how execution looks like, and that's where things become problematic. But at least your civ picks are better, and your synergies were good. I love the synergy between the Aztecs and the Goths in that scenario. That was pretty good. There's some other ones, by the way, so but at the end of the day, all I'm saying is you guys overall, there was some good learning that actually happened, even though you're looking at like why you lost and all of this. But I thought that everyone kind of like there was some good learning that actually happened. I guess like finally, Salman, since you haven't spoken as much, can you just tell me the experience that you experienced based on your strategy? Now you heard everybody talk about like what their plan was, what they did. I guess from your perspective, how did you feel like the game kind of went from your perspective?
I mean, from my perspective, I did kind of recognize early on that these guys were trying to push me out of that, which is
Mm-hmm.
why Facile, you saw such a heavy presence from me, trying to contest. Uh, Another thing was I was calling out, okay, they got paladins, they got this unit, there's a heavy concentration of units here, and as time went on, Munsif and Sharky were not responding to any of my callouts. So that's when I went, okay, you guys are not going to respond, so I'm just going to ping on the map. Ping, 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 because you guys are not listening. So until they were going to, respond to what was going on, I wasn't going to say anything. That was kind of why I went silent with them,
Mm-hmm.
because that was an issue. Um, they weren't responding to the call outs or anything, and then they weren't telling me what's going on with them either. So that was a
Right.
thing. So I just kind of I went solo. I had to fight a 3v1 scenario. Um, you had Sharky send the slinger over. Uh, I don't think you saw it, but the slingers actually went to fight against paladins, so they just got slaughtered
Ouch.
in seconds. Um, Shoaib, your paladins were actually pretty critical to that front. So that was well played. Dobo came in bolstering you guys with the numbers. Faso had the Aztecs, so he had the heavy food units, the strong food units. That was great. But my problem was, I had to fight all three of you guys by myself, which really shouldn't have been the case.
There you go. That's what it was. So the comms on our side were very bad. Not the call outs were coming. Salman was calling it out. I mean, even when we started the game, I was telling you that the whole point, like we were supposed to, face that army that was coming, but you know,
Eh,
nobody provided the units.
there's
I don't.
literally at the I saw Dobo's first charge of like 6-8 pikemen, and my scout was following it. I know you guys saw it because literally my scout was following his pikemen. I was calling that out, and when they showed up, like these guys had no response. Granted, it came to me, so I was ready. But then
All right.
I started to teeter off on my comms a little bit there. And then I didn't see any much scouting from these guys. So it started to teeter off some more, and then they weren't responding to the paladins, the heavy presence. Sharky called out, "Hey, right side's completely empty," and I'm like, "Yeah, well that's where Dobo's supposed to be, and he's fully committed to charging us right now." right? So they didn't recognize right side was empty, so they didn't take advantage of that because, but guys, your guys' right side was wide open. Just letting you know. From our perspective, your right side wide open because you guys went 3-1 on left, or 3 on left and 1 on mid. So you literally had nobody for the right flank. From our perspective, you had no one on the right flank. You had 3 left, 1 mid.
Yeah, we knew that, and that was calculated risk. It was completely intentional. I'm not gonna lie. We wanted to make sure that we got the worst of the early game, uh, you know, blues. Uh, I had to trigger the worst from your side, which that's how we do it.
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed tonight, but I wasn't trying to really aggress you guys tonight. I wanted Mudsif and whoever else was with me to 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 do the aggressing, to do the attacking. It's why I kind of left Mudsif the siege role to start taking out buildings. Um, he struggled with that a bit, so I'd help him out with some rams here and there. Uh, but I wasn't aggressing until one of you guys attacked me.
Yeah, I know that. But look, you handed our asses to us for the first 2 games, and it's been pretty much the pattern, right? This game was a bit of a anti-pattern, and just saying, the whole scenario was we could leave the right side completely free because we know Horam isn't going to just come in and just end. That's not why he's sitting there. We know that we have players on our side that have better early game performances than anything you have on your side. So the right side just was irrelevant. As long as we denied you and put pressure on those guys, right side meant nothing at all.
I guess question for you from like in this kind of scenario, right? Just thinking from the other side, like from Munsif's perspective, for example, like like how Samanasing was communicating and calling out. I mean, I guess for example, if I was in Munsif's shoes, maybe the better thing would have been to communicate with you. Like for example, if Munsif was getting attacked by Dobo or whatever, like, hey, I need help defending my area, and I'm gonna go help Saman out, right? Because since he was next to him.
Right.
I guess that technically would
Nothing.
like to Faso's
Yeah,
point, you won't like go through right side and take us out, but you could at least help in the defense on one of your allies so that Saman doesn't get outnumbered by that much, right?
Well, some of it.
But he would have to call it out, of course.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
You can't
That's
just
what you
do it.
see. So I guess what I'm saying is that the why I didn't do the help early is because he didn't say shit either.
Mm-hmm.
So then I was like, all right, well, I guess you ain't gonna say shit, so I ain't gonna do anything either. So I just kind of.
Here. Is it me?
Yes.
Okay, well, I did call it, but everybody was in his own corner. For
No.
Salman, I mean, just to reply for what Salman's
Uh-huh.
saying,
Okay.
I don't know, maybe I was too focused. I really didn't hear anything. The only thing that I saw is the cross on the map. Then when I start seeing the fight,
Yeah.
and I saw the units, yes, and then I saw the units coming to his side, and I was
Right.
calling me. I don't know if you guys heard me too, because I was calling many units coming, and I was also communicating with Sharky, and we were dealing with the things that what's his name, Dobo kept sending, and also Logan kept sending. So I don't know if you
Yeah,
guys.
but Munsef, just so
Yeah.
you know, there was a
But that was
lot of.
happening before.
Yeah. There was
Salman getting attacked. Yes.
actually there was a lot of communication that happened before. Salman was talking about like the units they had. He
Yeah, we
told
heard
you
that.
that.
We heard that. Yeah,
Well,
that's we heard.
but
I'm
here's what
talking
I'm
about
trying to.
when he was attacked. Yes.
No, I know, but that's late. By the time he get attacked, it's too late. So what's basically happened is Salman basically told you Dobo's here, infantry is coming from this side. Basically, that automatically means it ain't coming from the other side, all the way on the other side. That means it's going to come on Salman's side. But guess what? Before the game started, you know that we discussed this, right? Hold on, we
Yeah,
discussed
okay.
this.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is, he called out the pallies are there. He said
Okay.
big numbers. He
Okay.
also said.
I also called out many units coming up because I scouted in Logan's
Yeah,
area,
but what
and
I'm
I saw
saying is,
all the
you
things
didn't,
that's happening there.
but you never produced. So calling out is irrelevant if you yourself don't produce anything.
Yeah, I was in the process of producing, but the thing that they
It's late.
happen faster. Yes, it's
I
late,
know,
yeah, yeah.
I know. So what I'm saying is, early game, when Dobo sent a few units, like they were saying, and
I
Salman was
lost some
tracking.
units. Yes, I lost large
No, no, no.
units too.
No,
Yeah.
I know. But what I'm saying is, your output production should actually continue to increase and increase because that's just the way it is. You know, you remember that
It
he
will
actually.
increase if no one attacks you, but I've been attacked like 4 or 5 times with Dobo,
I
and
know,
Archie was
but
even
those are
close.
little. But listen, I'm telling you, he's gods. Those are baby attacks. They're nothing. They were nothing
But
because the real
I lose my
shit.
units. Yes.
Listen, the real shit was coming, which is what Salman was calling you. Salman was saying, "Pallies are here. Siege workshops being built," which means Rams are coming no matter what. You see? So basically, you needed to because you can outproduce that guy because he's got like barracks that produce like units a lot faster. However, you needed to increase your unit production
Mhm.
so that basically you had a much bigger force than what you thought. Because here's the thing, you got lulled into the army that was coming, and you were like, yeah, he's sending 8 or 9 pikes, and so the limited amount of pikes you saw, you were fighting them, right? What I'm trying to tell you is Salman was actually telling you, and not just even telling you, he even showed you with by moving his scouts. He was showing you the big ball of shit that was coming, that was being built, which means automatically.
I saw that, and I also scouted there, and I called that too.
I
It's not
know, but
I
what I'm
didn't
saying
see it.
is, all I'm saying is there was a lag between that. So basically, this is what was going on. They built faster. They
Yes,
built those units faster, and you built them slower, which
correct.
meant that you couldn't. By the time they arrived or the fighting started, like it was too late for you. Like
Correct.
there's
Yes.
like they had so many, and you couldn't even like, yeah. To your point, I mean, you had the resources, but if you don't have enough production buildings, and then by the way, it takes
No,
time too.
I didn't say I had resources all along the game, not in the
No, no,
beginning of
no.
the game.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. That's fine. So what I'm saying is active communication, if anything, needed to happen that early, right? So that was big. And then the other thing was like making sure that you were calling out on the Logan stuff. Because Sharky, you were supposed to work with Sharky, and the communication between you and Sharky was so limited to almost none. And Sharky built some units in panic. Like Sharky panicked and built the slingers with no gold. Like he didn't really have gold. Instead of like working the trade carts, he went straight into slingers. Like the moment he saw something, all he remembered from our conversation was slingers. So he only built slingers, and then but he was dealing with like a stupid food. He was dealing with like stupid skirmishers
I
and
mean,
some pikes.
it's a lesson that everybody has to
Yeah,
understand.
yeah, yeah. Of
Early
course, of course,
early
of
game,
course. Yes,
you
yes.
start with gold units. Early game.
Right. So, but yeah, hey, mistakes happen, things happen. It's not a big deal. I mean, it's just what it is. But what I'm saying is, the more you communicate, which is what the other team is doing these days, and I think that's what Shoaib's point is, the more you talk about things, at least if someone's making a mistake when they're telling you, like if somebody says, "Hey, I'm building paladins," you would say, "Hey, freaking don't go paladins right now, bro. You need gold. Make the trade cards first." Like somebody would catch it. But if there's no communication, I think it's hard to like catch. It's hard to, but that's where you work with your teammates, right? Especially in this game where you knew that there was an early wave that was going to come, a big early wave. So you needed to kind of like talk with Sharky much more, and then more importantly with Salman because you were going to cover his flank. Like you were the guy who was going to cover his flank. So you literally need, if anybody you would be talking to first would be Salman, and then just like actively saying, okay, so I'm gonna build like a bunch of like what pikes. You see what I'm saying? Like those are the things you would say, and then Salman would be like, yeah, just build that. And then
Well,
in the meantime, Sharky can then kind of chime in and say, okay, what do you want me to build in, for example? But that communication thing that Shoaib's kind of talking about, I think that is very true.
I'm laughing because
Yeah, I agree with that.
I was watching the replay a little bit and
Uh huh.
outside Saman's wall, the Eagles were taking down the houses, but with Mongols,
What?
once with Mongols don't lose pub when you take out houses. It's just funny.
Yeah. Oh, you remembered that, huh? Yeah, you nig. You remembered it. It's good that you remember that. A lot of people don't remember that. That
Yeah, I
they
mean,
keep their power.
it just to add, because here I was in the support role, I wasn't
Yes,
the
yes.
maiden role. So also, like Salman, I was expecting more communication from your side too, not only my side.
But he
So that's
did.
something. He did maybe initially when the fight started, but when he's pulling
But
back,
but
I was
Munsif,
also
what
surprised.
I know, but Munsif, what I'm saying is that early communication was all the communication because anything after that was too late because of the sieve. You remember like when somebody is Hans and they come in and kick your ass because you're not ready?
So, I mean,
Yeah,
we
but
have the
that's what
same.
had happened here.
We have the same
Exactly,
issue
that's what
if
happened here.
someone else is communicating or saying that they're seeing enemy units and stuff coming and whatnot. I mean, then the impetus is also on the allies at least to try to click there and see a little bit what's going on too, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
which we do. We do too. When we scout, when we find something, we see it and we
No,
click.
no, I'm saying like
We
to
point
click
it out.
because you have visibility. I mean, you don't have to scout someone's area. You just click and you see what is going on in his area, right? So like if he's quiet after the initial call outs, I mean, obviously, maybe he's busy fighting or whatever. So that also something that should be a good thing to do.
Yeah, so Munsif, that's what Shoaib's saying. Like, you need to basically, if you, especially if you're a support guy, especially if you're the support guy, you have to, as a support guy, be looking, scanning the battlefield.
No,
You
support because
need
I
to.
was I was watching the replay. You actually did pretty good against Dobo's initial
Well,
army, right? You
yeah.
had the skirms and stuff. You did pretty good actually to kind of like not have
Well,
your
I mean,
initial
the only
game
credit,
impacted.
yeah, but the only credit I will say here, because when I was producing unit, I've been saying, hey, I'm making onager, hey, I'm making rams, I'm making cavalry here, I'm making whatever I was making at that time. But the only credit I will give to Salman is I didn't call what do you need as a help, which kind of unit you need me to produce so I can push back with you. So that's the usually I do that, but I didn't do it this time. So which I guess I forgot. But yes, as a support role, I should have
It
asked
happens,
first. So that's
but
fine.
one thing, Munsif, I need you to start doing. You need to, as a guy who's supporting as well. Need you to start scanning the battlefield periodically, and by periodically I mean every like 15 seconds. I need you to scan the battlefield, meaning your ally side. I need you to look at the map and scan the battlefield and see how things are going. Because you can probably tell, like, oh shit, like this big thing is coming, and you can see Salman's forces. I mean, literally, it's a numerical thing. You're like, oh, and then you could say, hey, Salman, whoa, freaking shit, like, what do you need? Something like that. And then he can even tell you, like, from that standpoint, as opposed to, hey, without looking anywhere, working on your eco and looking at your stuff and saying, hey, Salman, what do you need? There's a big difference in how you ask that. So all I'm saying is, and sometimes like for example, when Salman just says, "Hey, they're building pallies," automatically, just hearing without even looking, you go balls to the walls with infantry, pikes, 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 like just balls to the wall. Period. I mean, literally, that's all you do. I suspect if you did that, that would not only blunt what Dobo came up with, but it would think about it this way. If you overproduce on helps, you basically kill paladins and pikes at the same time. Literally. And Salman's good. Like he's perfect. So those are the types of things. But hey, whatever. I mean, all I'm saying is in the future, next time, like that. But for you, I think the next step is scanning the battlefield, looking at your allies area, looking in front of your allies area. What's happening? What's happening? What's he doing? Is he doing okay? No issues, no problems. Are we making pushes? I know sometimes you've done that. You're like, oh, looks like these guys are pushing. Like, oh, we're pushing from this side pretty good. So it seems like they got a handle on that such scenario. But all I'm saying is for you to make that assessment on the big thing isn't like if somebody's doing good. The big thing is when somebody's doing bad or they're stuck. You need to be Johnny on the spot that helps them. But how can you help them if you don't know? And people's mental capacity when they're like you said, concentration. So if the guy's like experiencing all the attack, suddenly he's not saying anything, you're like, oh shit, the guy needs help because he's so concentrated. So maybe you engage with the guy and say, hey, this, and then the guy, and suddenly he will awaken from his from his tunnel context when you start talking, and he'd be like, yeah, like there's freaking tons of these guys, man. Like
So,
maybe send me infantry,
yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, definitely. But also something that didn't help is the distance between us. I mean, we were next to each other, but we weren't together. That's the problem.
Right.
I
Oh,
mean, he
and then
was
Shoaib was saying,
isolated and I was isolated, and they
yeah,
were the enemy between us. So that's
right,
and we
right,
didn't
right.
see.
Well, the
Depending.
thing is, Sharky didn't ask for help. He just periodically, anecdotally said, "Oh, this guy, like he's here." But yeah, like okay. I mean, and then Logan was
Oh, I mean,
suppressing you.
last time I checked, the Incas don't speak English, man.
Yo, what the hell? So what? We got the blind and the deaf already on our team? What the shit?
I, I,
That's messed up.
I think both maps tonight are pretty good. So I think if we try these teams with these two maps, I think it'll be fun games. Because the first map was pretty quick too, right? The
Yeah,
games.
I mean the games were all quick. I mean,
Yeah.
so I'm all for still the
I
picking.
think
I
we,
know
we
it.
we need to recognize that tonight I did not do any side shows.
Well, I think the way the maps were, I think
Man,
you
I mean,
couldn't.
I
You
tried to,
couldn't
man. I mean,
because
I
you guys
wanted
kept
to.
pushing the left
I
side, and
wanted to, but I
you
wanted to, but
only
my
do your
team,
sideshow from the left side, bro.
but my
Oh
team,
shit.
my team was like, don't do any side shows.
Oh, you were gonna let Fassel hang high and dry early.
Hey man,
Damn.
what Fassel's been saying, I've been saying for the last 3 months, man. I'm like, we gotta freaking, obviously take advantage of the early game, right? Blah blah blah. But I think it's all about the balance, all right. So play around with the
Yeah, the
balance.
balance and the comms on our
And
side
the
and the
save, the
talent.
save, picking the saves helps actually with the early strategy, right? Because you at least have some control over the saves, so
Right, right.
that
I
helps.
mean, listen, that's not a
I
bad
think
thing.
I think the next challenge for us is that like what Fast was kind of hinting at with the reconfiguring and stuff is that
Hmm.
when we pick civs, of course, yeah, we kind of have an idea of, let's say, ideally what our layers should be, but at the
Right.
same time, we also have to start thinking about what the counters from the other side are gonna be, right?
So
And
you guys generally don't know what
no,
type
no,
of units be?
we do, but I'm saying, certain civs get a little tricky, right? Like for example, like if someone picks like Persians, for example, right?
Hmm.
I mean, they have full stable, of course, and then they have the elites and
Yeah,
stuff as
very.
well, right? So I mean, obviously, some of those scenarios, especially depending on the like, if someone goes gods, it's pretty straightforward usually, right? Like what they're gonna
Right,
do is
right,
like with a more diverse civ, you have to also kind of like figure out during the scouting and stuff. You can't really necessarily have a template, at the beginning of the game for
right.
that too, right?
How
Like
did
the
you
game,
how did you guys feel your scouting was?
like the game Dobo and Persians, I mean, I kind of had an idea, which I was calling out that hey, he's probably gonna be going pallies, right?
Right.
Um,
So one thing
Scouting?
that
Uh-huh.
Shoaib, you're talking about it about like how the paladins and stuff that you had was that to help out Fassel, you needed to then that should have clicked that oh gosh, I'm not getting my conquistadors out to help him. That should have so I mean
Didn't need the
something to work on I
comms.
guess.
He didn't
I
need the
mean,
comms.
the Nig move of the night started before the game
Oh,
started.
he
Happened.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's
Let's
when
hear
you
it.
yeah, of course. It's when you guys pick two teams at the same time, two saves at the same time. That was the Nig of the night.
Oh, that's right. The
Yes,
the Spanish pick, right?
save
And
time,
the
man.
rule is only one at a time. So why did you guys pick two?
Well,
I mean, we
actually,
know why, but
it was
why?
not intentional. Faisal actually ended up choosing first, even though Dobo was supposed to choose first, right? So then Faisal chose first, and then we're like, Dobo, whatever, you can just pick yours too, so we can save time.
We
But that
wanted
should
to
have
sound like it was going to
that
make a
should
damn
that should have helped you
difference.
guys out more, right? Because you guys would have had known what two saves we have.
Well, they were gods and
Yeah,
Incas.
but that was you could pick the same save too. You don't have to pick the different saves.
Well, I think the rule is not to pick the same save.
No, that's not a rule, man. Where's that rule?
I don't know, up to you guys. I thought that's what I knew initially. That's we don't have a mirror here. We play like
No, we have mirrored before. We have mirrored
oh,
before.
yeah, I
It's
mean,
just
ideally, I
it's
was thinking you
uncommon.
guys did it purposely, so that's, I mean, there is Incas and gods.
Technically, it's more advantage for you guys because you guys knew 2 of our civs, right, before picking any civ.
No, I mean, hey, if you guys do you guys want to? It's just that it's more interesting when it's not mirrored. But do you guys want to mirror civs?
I mean, I guess the point is like one person can mirror. It's not like every person is mirroring each other, right? I mean, 1 or 2 same civs is not a big deal during
It
the
just
game.
becomes. I think it becomes unfair if like somebody's like, hey, then I can do it. Then the guy that says I could do it, then I could do it. So then you know what you guys do? You're like, hey, listen, why don't you go first? Because we'll just pick exactly that you pick. So we don't have to think anymore. I mean, technically, like, hey, I'm just bringing it all back together. You remember what Dobo asked? That one question he asked me, the first time he played. Dobo said, "Hey, can you tell me how you would beat yourself?" So you guys do the same thing. You're like, okay, well, why don't you guys pick? And then turns out you have to beat the same layered army as the one that you're gonna make. I don't know. I mean, it's up to you guys. Like, I leave that up to you. I just find it very funny, like interesting, when all the civs are different.
No,
That was a
I
real
agree with
question
that
that
assessment.
What's that?
I said
I said that was a real question that I asked. I remember that.
Yeah. But I thought it was funny because
I agree with your assessment, Kuram, that in general we should avoid mirroring. But I think like in certain cases where it's part of the team comp,
Mhm.
a mirror is okay. Like one mirror is okay.
Yeah, we can limit to we can limit it to
shit.
one,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
By the
Limit
way,
to one.
next Saturday, I was proposing to have an interesting first game
Mm-hmm.
where it's a 6-player game where you and someone spectate, just to kind of see how the players rank up.
What that?
You want to know where the players rank up?
I've been asking
We
for
saw
free
that.
for
We
all.
saw that already.
No, the 6 players, man. I mean, for example,
Yeah. We already saw that.
imagine like a Logan, Dobo, and Munsif versus me, Fassel, Sharky kind of scenario.
You lost. You lose. You lose. GG.
The way Fassel played the last game, man, is giving me confidence, man.
Yeah, it's gonna take time, brother. You freaking GG. Don't you remember we played the 3v3 and me and Salman were chilling in the back, and it was like a 2v2? Really? That told a lot.
Me and Sharky against Fassel and Munsif, I think, right?
Yeah, yeah, the early game stuff is still a problem with some of the players, man. Unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm just joking, man. It's all good.
Are you joking? I thought you were serious. I thought you were serious. I'm pretty sure you were serious, man. Like, what the hell?
Well, I think he's serious about the stacking or whatever, ranking up.
Remember, Munsif had that whole scoring system going. Remember back in the day?
What? Did he?
Yeah, it's like rank us 1 through 8.
That was like 200 years ago. So
Oh shit! 200 years ago. I wonder where he comes up with these numbers.
I just wanted to play a free for all. Been a while we didn't do that. Or remember 2v2v2s and those things. But anyway,
Is that something you guys would like to play?
Yeah, sure.
Sure, what?
Oh, do like a random free for all. I thought you guys, when I was like, you guys were
Oh,
ready. I
man,
thought you guys were playing a free for all.
You remember that freaking map Horum did with the hell the random villager spawn, like 3 villagers spawn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I remember you guys hate that map.
Yeah, mostly because Logan's a total douche when he goes free for all.
Well, no, I'm talking about the random villager one, bro.
Yeah, the 3
You
villagers are
remember
spread across the map.
They officially banned the map after you and me denied them the markets. Remember that?
Oh, that's yeah. It was kind of like Nomad, but not randomly generated in the sense. But for these guys, it's randomly generated because they never remember the position of their guy anyway. So they're like, oh shit, my guy's here and my guy's here, and then I think the problem there, Shoaib, was that you're trying to form the line, but it's very difficult because you're like all randomly, like all the villagers are random, you know?
I mean, it was funny. I mean, it led to some funny moments, but yeah.
Well, there you go. Because, well, technically in those times, you guys were so heavily dependent on markets that you were like, oh, we this is not gonna work out, man. Well, I can't set my trade up. But I don't know. Maybe this time it would be the case. But I don't know if you guys want, if that's something. I know Munsif has been saying that he wants to try like maybe like the, and I know Shoaib, you mentioned too, like the 3v2v2 type things or whatever. It's just that whenever I've noticed that, and since everybody's here, whenever we play that, it always seems like two people, like, remember, whoever's the pocket player gets wrecked.
Yeah.
Because I'm not doing anything, and whoever's the pocket guy gets hit hard by both people. It's like, what? Like, it never is like a real, like, I hit you, you hit
Yeah,
me.
true. That's part of the problem.
Yeah, so then it's kind of like, I don't know. Like,
Unless you have kind of like a game where first teams battle it out and then they go meet the final boss afterwards.
you lose.
We should do 2v2v 1v1. You know, like Yajuj and Majuj outside.
Gog Magog. Gog Magog. God damn, bro. What the hell?
And then you deal with them at the end. Yeah, anyways, just to change, but yeah, I mean, those two maps that we played tonight, they were good. We can stick with them for a good month or two, please.
Oh shit! Yeah, you heard that? We gotta.
I mean,
we don't want
learning,
too.
so
We
that's the objective.
yeah, it's objective. We just don't want too many of this, like, little, the maps changing, and then the re-scouting, and then the learning, and the disorientation. And you know what? I just got used to taking some boars out. I don't want to see new boars in different places.
That happened to me to the freaking last game. In my bid to kind of be more aggressive and go forward.
Hey, you like that? You like that? Your villager, your early villager.
Basil told them just keep running.
He's like keep running. They'll eventually give up, and I was like, what the hell? They're not giving up, man.
Because it was your villager.
First, I was gonna run and take him to Dobo, but then I was like, that's not good. So then I kind of moved across and went to the other side where all the other boars were.
Right.
Then I'm like, if I'm gonna die with like 3 boars, not just one.
Oh. They didn't stop giving the chase because they knew it was your villager looking for gold. Hey, but the best part is when I share the map, I don't share where the boars are.
No, because this map we played before, I just freaking forgot. The
one that you forgot. You forgot that the boars aren't there, or you forgot that
they were like that kind of like close and shit to the front line.
Hey, listen, we haven't gotten the reason. I'm just telling everybody so you all know. If I don't put the boars, you probably, like a lot of the folks probably don't even have a good army.
Yeah, that helps.
So I'm forced to put the boars so you guys can actually do that. I hope one day we can get it where we don't have boars, and I don't want to have like the gold and stone surrounded by like stupid berry bushes. I'd like to leave it like open. But man, damn it. The thing is, like, right now, your whole cohesion breaks because Shoaib will be like, "Oh my God, look at the freaks, gold!"
Well, that also so Mono can also take advantage of that too.
I feel like we're better than that though. Like if Shoaib like does that, everyone's just gonna go and get like fuck him up. So
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. He pulled some shit. I didn't tell you guys last game while you guys were fighting. The Nig came in and he threw his 6-7 villagers on Fassel's side and started collecting shit from there. He's like just on the side. He's like, oh, let me just send a bunch of my villagers on the side and collect. And then I saw him, and then just took care of that business real quick with some horses. Shoaib, you like that shit?
Yeah, I saw that.
But he didn't say anything. He's like stealing resources here and there. Hey man, I don't blame you for stealing the resources because the whole shit line was contested and stuff. But I'm telling you, Logan, if you think shenanigans are a problem, you don't know this guy and his freaking like bloodlust. Like this dude, he doesn't even care about the war. He will go straight for the resource, period. And then he'd be like, "Hey man, It's all about gathering the resources, man. How can I help you if I don't have the resources? Ain't that right, Shoaib?
I mean, gotta make the stats look good on the eco at least.
Oh, there you go, man. He will have the highest stats on gold and stone collected. Straight up. Because he knows that he needs to please you, Logan. When you look at the stats, he needs to please you. He'd be like, hey, at least Logan can't say shit about my resources. And then Logan's like looking at the army counts and all that crap.
Logan be like, your pop was 198, not 200.
That's why we lost that one unit.
Those 2 units did it in. That's it. It's over.
Well, we'll get back to you if the 2 maps are good enough or not, because Logan has to still take some measurements over the weekend.
Dude, he's throwing some haymakers.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
If I recall, it was Munsif who pointed out the boars last time. There's 5 on my side. There's 4 on your side.
Well, he just has a problem with boars.
I'm sorry, they were more than 4. They were like 12.
Well, there we go. You remember?
Of course I remember.
Hey, in this last one, I think Blue's side didn't have any on his corner. He had like 4 up, so he could build his market way right.
Now I know how to kill them. I don't care much about them, so I'm okay with that.
Think about it this way: the more boars I have, the bigger army I have. The bigger army I have, the bigger early support, and then GG.
That means your army are full of boars.
Say that again.
That's when your army is full of boars.
Well, that too. You know. So watch. Be careful. Be careful what you say.
You said more boars you have, more your army is.
Well, if you only knew how I build these maps, it's like my cursor, click, 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 click. I'm doing like this. I can imagine Logan doing 1, 2. Hold on. 1, 2, 3. Let me try it again. 1. Okay. I got the count right here. Now let me do the next one. 1, 2, 3. Okay, no. The orientation's wrong. Bruh, no way. Hell no. I know you would do it, but there's no way in hell I'm doing that. You guys got lucky. I just can't imagine. It's such a pain in the ass for me to get those resources down too. Holy shit! Like I can't believe that like a couple of the games didn't start because of the stupid resource crap. At least twice it happened. Did it happen on both maps, by the way?
Yeah.
It happened to me in the first map, I think Facile too.
Damn. That's just
Like shit, maybe something's up with my Civ.
I should have just left it. Nah, man, because for me, when that problem happens, it means that we just delayed the game another like 10 minutes. You know, like 10 minutes for sure. And I've been trying to like reduce the time it takes for us to launch the game because I know the Civ choices are taking a little bit of time, but they're not taking as much time.
This time, I think the first map, since it was a new map, also took some extra time to discuss strategy and stuff. So.
I think next time it'll be just much faster.
Next time should be quicker.
Spend some time with Sharky trying to figure out his early game, or he's got issues.
Yeah, I'm sure he will. I gotta throw some books Sharky's way. Hey Sharky, you know like
He dropped.
Said he left.
Oh, he left.
That's why Facile's saying that.
That's okay. I don't know. I think sometimes I feel like he's playing like a Civ game, a Civilizations game. You know, where he's like, oh, I'll send my villager here, and oh, nice. I'll
settle a city here now.
Yeah.
Start making a new city here. Town center. Let's start.
Yeah, let's start. He just got bum rushed by freaking Logan, man. He had no idea what the hell to do with that shit that was in front of him.
Dobo was gonna go after his archer. So I really just want to get Dobo triggered on.
Yeah, but the best part was when his slinger showed up to help someone out. That was too good.
Oh my god! Listen. I told him the game that it's anti freaking infantry and that it has to have like a front line. And then when I saw that Salman was struggling, I was like, bro, don't even worry about whatever the shit in front of you. Send all that shit. I want you to send all your shit to Salman. I didn't know, because I on purpose don't care to know, that he sent that shit straight to your I mean, that's just some shit.
I'm a different. Alright. Good games.
That's it.
So,
man.
good games, man. So, take care, man.
Alright, guys.
So the fact that he lost all those freaking... First of all, he panic built that shit. And then he just sent that shit just to die. Oh my god, to the pallies. That was so bad. Basically, he got stuck with nothing. And then I think his economy was... The funny thing is that I think he had like some initial villagers that he... I think like Logan like bothered him a little bit. And so he rang the town center bell. And then he never took them ever out again.
Oh shit.
His expanded town center that you saw there, that was next to you, Logan. He for the longest time he never even took them out. Well, you know, because archer fire. I mean, because his units are dying, so the archer fire would be great. It was just kind of like silly, but you know, at that point I knew he was kind of like mentally out of the game. I mean, he was just completely discombobulated. So what are you gonna do, man? You guys pulled the maneuver. The surprise maneuver, man. Shoaib, you were saying, oh, I don't want to be surprised, but bruh, you got like freaking surprises too. You guys remember the Braveheart movie? Where the guys go into the field, turn around and moon the other army?
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounded like you guys did a little bit of that today. and that was enough for Sharky to be like, no, I'm not gay. And that was it. It was over. Logan mooned him, and it was over. I mean, he literally had nothing, and then the guy had like he built like all these skirmishers, and bruh, like the guy's sending cavalry, man, dude.
Well, and Job also sent in his Huskarls too.
Yeah. I mean, he was just kind of like out. He was outmaneuvered in that whole thing. He didn't really know what was going on, unfortunately. So he didn't even know what units to build. After he built those skirmishers, that was the last time he built like a cohesive bunch of units. At that point, he was just building units from all sorts of buildings. I mean, there was just a hodgepodge of stuff. I mean, it was just there's nothing he could do. So
yeah, I would probably switch its position with you, know.
Say that again.
Maybe this kind of map you can switch positions with Sharky, I guess.
Maybe.
That would
He's gonna be isolated in that corner.
Yeah, but with Sharky, the problem with him is, I think, given his early game, is if he has to do any military whatsoever early game, he gets screwed for the whole game, usually.
Well, here let me say this, just so you guys know. If I really want, your early rush would never work. Like your early pushes, they would never work. Not because I would attack you, but my presence would be so tremendous early that it just wouldn't happen. But and Sharky could chill. But the point is that I ain't playing like that. I need Sharky to like step up his game and send units that he needs to, and he needs to know that like critical, like he's a critical part of like the makeup that we discuss. So he needs to be able to deliver on that.
Well,
Not like
at a minimum, he needs to communicate, right? So
yes, which he still didn't do.
if he communicates, then technically you can help him. Like even
Was he talking with you guys?
Barely.
Shit. Yeah, that was one of the reasons why we had moved. We can keep him, and so that we can kind of get him more talking.
Yeah.
I know him and Dobo just talk a lot. I don't know what that is. Is just maybe Dobo, or Dobo instigates that?
Yeah, Dobo more instigates that usually.
Okay. Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Because he doesn't say a lick of anything. I mean, Salman says stuff. I mean, even Munsif, who's an introvert too, but shit, Munsif just says much more than he does. So maybe it's just a matter of like him to learn at least like the basics of the early. Because the early, I still, you know, here's the thing. With him too, without knowing the map and without knowing his predetermined setup or template of where he's going to place his stuff, he is completely lost. Like, he doesn't know where.
If you want to hear Munsif talk, just abandon his onagers and you'll hear him talk.
That's the kind of talk nobody wanna hear it. So.
Hey, man.
Talk, it's gonna be screaming. Screaming for help.
Energy, man. That's good. That's, you know.
Well, that's true, man. Holy crap.
Me and Munsif have some onager battles, man.
Hey, man. Shit.
Slavs versus Mongols.
Yeah, what the hell, man? How did you guys do? How did you guys pair up?
Pretty good. I was doing pretty good until Blue showed up.
What? Oh, come on, man. I wasn't there the whole time.
Yeah, no, we had some good battles.
You mean onager battle?
Not just onager, but you know, just and also onager against other units.
Oh, okay. So both of you got your little pancakes?
No, we got pancakes.
Moonsif had an onager with 1 health left too.
Really?
The second game I had large. Like one onager that survived killed at least, I would say at least 80 19.
Oh shit.
I just full sent to that onager and it remained with 1 hit point.
Yeah, exactly. 1 hit point. I remember that.
Yeah.
And then when John Dobo was Teutons, I think the first game, and so it was onager, and my onager hit his onager first, but because he's Teutons, it didn't die. I was like, damn it.
Oh yeah, because they're heavy. I guess what civ were you?
The Saracens.
They also get heavy onager.
The Ironclad.
Oh, melee. Okay, got it. I thought it was onager hit. Okay, melee. Yes.
It wasn't
Really?
Well, they have Ironclad, or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah, +4 melee, yeah.
And
Yeah,
archers
but-
count as melee damage.
Does it?
That's why they're so effective against archers. They
Really?
count as melee
Looks
damage. Yes.
looks like I got my sipper next week.
Then you'd be like, oh. Hey, all I know is I knew just for the impact, because Shoaib, you know, you mentioned that, hey man, I don't want you to freaking come and surprise me. Yo, that cavalry did surprise the shit out of you though.
But you know, not bad,
What's
man.
that?
The new resolution I was playing with. It's not bad.
Hey!
The first game it threw me off, you know, because obviously everything was like a lot smaller. You know?
Right.
I kind of got used to that for the first game. It does help with the
Cheater.
awareness.
Yeah. Bitch.
Cheater.
Yeah, awareness. That's what you say, awareness.
You want to hear something funny?
What's that?
Monster did the same thing.
What? Yo!
helped.
Complete nig. Complete nig.
Wait,
Leave
what?
Africa.
Moonsif's on 4K? Wait, what?
Huh?
What'd you say?
My
Moonsif's
standard-
also...
Munzif also went 4K, but I think it
Nice.
I went 5K this time.
5K. I think.
But it's 5K.
Hey, so
Put a screen on the side,
that means in the last game he could see Salman on his screen, man.
Technically. But I
But
couldn't,
yet- but
couldn't,
yet-
hit-
but
I
yet-
couldn't hear him too, so I was kind of isolated.
No.
My brain was
When he plays now, you know, like when you do an eye test, you cover one eye. That's how he. That's how he plays, and
No,
it just
no.
happened. And it
It's
just
not
happened
that.
that the side that he covered of his eye was Salman's base.
Man,
No, there's a
that-
better one. You know how the horses, I don't know if they do it.
Yeah. They do.
You know
They
the
do.
horses, they cover their sight.
Yes.
That's the
Tunnel.
way the tunnel them. Exactly. That's
The
the way
eye,
I do
the
it.
eye test reminded me of an ex-Aegis player, man.
Huh?
Of what?
The eye test comment.
Oh shit.
My
Oh,
hormones,
forget about that shit, bruh. I'm just kind of Hey, all I know is I'm gonna tell you this. There was a player on our team who wanted to be Ethiopians, and he got shut down like the moment he said it.
I was
Period.
surrounded with negs. So what do you expect?
Oh my god! And he was looking for just onager. Oh man, but they got onager, and that was about it. Freaking
I
holy
was
crap!
looking for a sieve. That's what happened. I was looking for a sieve that has, I mean, that should combine both siege and cavalry.
Mhm.
And then
I
he
mean,
said
I know that
Ethiopians.
Ethiopians have good siege, but I wasn't sure about they have a good cavalry, so I was thinking to
He
pick them.
says CJ cavalry and then he said Ethiopians. I'm like, no.
I know they have camels, but I didn't know that they have good cavalry, so they don't. That's the other thing.
Hey man,
Bulgarians is pretty good for siege and cav, I think.
Probably Teutons, I think. Because you have paladins and you get the two
Yeah,
right?
I think
onagers.
someone mentioned the Bulgarians.
Yeah,
With the
they're
conics, you would have to go conics then, because I think they
Mhm.
just have cavaliers, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, but they have the
all the
best
cavalries
cavaliers
and
in the game as
yeah.
well, so there's that.
Well, they still lose to the the worst Teutons, or not Teutons. I meant paladins, or no?
Yeah, they will still lose to a generic paladin. That is true, but they are still the best cavalier in the game.
Yeah, they have the melee attack, right? They attack faster.
Yeah, it's like the Japanese, infantry, except on
Mm-hmm.
all of their cavalry. So the conic, the cavalier, and the scout, they all attack faster.
33%, baby.
Troy, why do you keep posting the same GIF?
for on my screen it shows it like it doesn't post.
Oh,
Really?
it's working. It's been
Yeah.
working this
What
whole
the
time.
hell?
Oh, it keeps disappearing.
Okay, yeah, that's weird. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Okay, anyways.
Really? It's not
Yeah.
showing?
No,
No, I mean
it disappeared now. Yeah,
it
it's not there.
disappeared. That's weird.
Can you use
Yeah.
Pancake to do it?
I don't know, man. I think it's time to go sleep.
I thought
Gives
I
up.
thought I thought I thought y'all started sleeping at 9:30.
Maybe the amount of post game commentary we did, we could have played another game, but it's all good. Good laughs though.
I,
Dovo
I,
wanted to play another.
did he?
Yeah, I was like, we're probably done. This was at like 157.
Yeah. I mean, usually we don't go there because you guys are. I've noticed it generally when it's past that 1:30 mark.
130. Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually we don't.
Well, it makes us have a longer retro after the other
True.
games because I know the other
Yeah,
games
yeah,
are
yeah.
fast.
Remember, Logan, you were not here, man. Last week, was it last week or the week before? We did an advanced retro where Horum was sharing his screen, showing the map
Oh,
at the
true.
end of the game. That was pretty good.
Yeah, it was
Well,
showing like a.
good and embarrassing.
You guys needed that one. Not gonna lie.
I want to do.
You remember my castles?
Oh shit. Oh my god. Yeah. Didn't we play a Logan? We played a 4v2, bro.
Did you read that roast? What the hell was that roast? Oh, it
keeps
deletes
disappearing.
them.
Yeah, it
What's
keeps
happening? I didn't
deleting
see
it.
anything.
Yeah, it's
What,
weird.
you mean in Discord?
In the
Yeah.
AOE Maps channel in Discord. Unless maybe only certain people can post there, I guess, the permissions.
I don't exactly hate it, but if I were you were on fire, I had water, I'd drink it.
I don't know. I didn't see it.
You see
I
that?
think it's the channel. I think it's the AOE maps
Yeah,
or
you should.
something.
Right. You should post a channel.
Yeah.
General. Put it in general.
There, the roast is in general.
Oh shit! What the Schwabe? Where did you copy that shit from?
It's automatic, man.
Oh, whatever, bro.
The bot is doing it. Let's see what it gets from Munsu.
Oh shit! I was talking about slapping today too.
But that doesn't.
Animal. That must be a boar.
Wait, what's this?
Oh my goodness! I didn't know this. What the shit?
Shopping? What?
Yeah,
Stop
no,
and rinse.
you saw the one I sent to Faisal. That's a good one, man.
Which one is that?
I can explain it to you, but I can't understand it for you.
Oh shit! Oh, these are pretty good zingers, man. What the
Man,
hell? How did you? Oh, you're doing the P. Oh, okay.
bot,
Right.
yeah, it's the
Oh,
bot.
so the
Yeah,
bot's doing it. The
yeah,
bot's
yeah,
doing it.
yeah. The bot's doing it. Let's do for Sharky. He's not here.
Oh, whoops! I forgot the 8.
Shit.
Oh, you just have a question, and I think so.
Damn.
No, I think that's a perfect response to the roast.
I
for
know.
It's so perfect.
with that like clueless look. I think so.
All right, boys, I'm gonna drop. Was great games.
All right, good night,
Yeah.
Faisal.
Go
I'm
showing there.
tonight.
Go showing there, man. The last game.
Whoa.
I had to show you how it's done, nigga.
Oh
like you,
shit.
like the way like the way I showed Logan that one time.
Hell yeah, dude. You freaking running your freaking cavalry around like I don't know, some
Parade,
sort of like a
parade, man.
parade, yeah.
Parade, man.
Gay
He was making
parade.
he wanted to be in the Trump parade. Oh my god! What? Where did this shit come from?
I'm reading all the commands.
Nice, dude.
Alright,
good night.
man.
Bye, good night.
Good night, guys.
Oh yeah, you could just do slap.
Wow.
Ooh, what's this?
Knowing the context of that show, is even makes that GIF even funnier.
Shit.
A bye mom meme? What's this? What's the bye mom meme? Oh. Oh, I guess it's not working.
Hmm.
Alright, guys. See ya.
Alright,
Have a
man.
good night.
Take it easy.